Man, I've been telling y'all since about April 3rd, this exact moment was coming. While everybody else was banging their table for Mendoza and AOC. Klint Kubiak just made it official like a referee with a whistle. And guess who called it from day one? Black, the quarterback, aka the Raider bad guy. Yes, it's that Raider you love to hate.
All that matters is today. You're present, man. 3.5 hours. Do this together, man. It starts with us. It ends with us.
Hey, no cheers! Everything we got.
Thank you. God bless. Thank you guys for coming.
Everything we got. Yes, it's that Raider you love to hate. Yes, it's that Raider you love to hate. Yes, smoke an egg to the face because it's that Raider you love to hate. Yes, you know, I don't like, yeah, I do. I do a little bit. I don't like having to have to come and make these kind of live streams, but I have to do them because people are so loud during the during before things happen, and I keep trying to have you guys stay ahead of the curve. I'm Black the quarterback. I tell y'all, when you a quarterback, you got to stay ahead of the curve. You got to do pre-snap reads. You got to know what's going on before it goes on. And if it does something happen that you don't anticipate, how do you adjust? And so far, I've been ahead of the curve. My pre-snap read has been on point. I've been trying to tell people about, you know what, y'all, for those that don't know, that haven't been on the channel, welcome to Bart, Bay Area Raiders Talk. And these right here, these are my I told you so's. I'm putting these on so that way during the season, I don't have to come on and be so aggressive and brash and say, I told you so. The only reason why I'm saying I told y'all so is so that way y'all could tell others so you can be like, I told y'all so. So we all could be in the know. These are my I told you so's. Now, Klint Kubiak had a presser today. And I only watched like the last 2, 3, 4 minutes of it. So we're gonna review it today, the other parts of it. But the part I did see, it was meant for me to see it because the QB1 was announced going into camp. The QB1 was announced going into camp, something I've been telling y'all since April 3rd. If you go and look on my page, I literally did a live on April 3rd that said Cousins is QB1. He will start week 1. Now I know people saying, "Oh, it's just going into camp. It's not necessarily going into the season." I get it. I get it. All right, y'all got one little thin little branch to sit on, and y'all don't hear it cracking. It's about to break. But hey, let's see what the man said for himself. So, what's good with y'all? What's good with y'all? Before we get into it, let me see who the people that's early on the bar. Make sure y'all hit the like button. That's the fair. Don't be a fair raider. Don't be trying to get on the BART and don't pay your fare. At least hit the like button. Your boy monetized now, so we taking all donations because your boy ain't nobody working harder than me. I'm trying to tell y'all that. Ain't nobody working harder than me in the off season, and ain't nobody gonna work harder than me in the regular season. And ain't nobody gonna work harder than me in the postseason. So, man, welcome to the Bart Show. I'm Juice. Let's see who in the building with me. Michael Grant, what's good with you, my brother? Alfredo, aka Freddie, aka Freddie. Webb, you already know what it is. Ready for some Raider football? Yes, I'm ready for some Raider football. Yes, let's get into it though. Because I'm juiced. I've been juiced. I've been telling y'all I've been getting these goosebumps and they real. All these goosebumps is real. I've been getting them so often. I said it, I've got more goosebumps this off season than I've had like half of my life, y'all, if not more. So let's get into it. Let me take off the I told you so's because I don't want to be that guy, but I am that dude. So let's get into it. I hope y'all day has been good. Mine has been great. It just got greater. So let's get into it with my guys. Let's see what Klint Kubiak is talking about.
All right, ready when you guys are.
How
you're putting together your training camp plan specifically for Mendoza, how do you put together something definitive and knowing that you have to adjust during camp?
We get the off day, so we can reflect after 3 days, but we have a starting point on, where those reps want to be for the guys. We're really thoughtful about how many reps each guy's getting up against what defense. There's going to be times where it moves and certain guys are with the 2, certain guys with the 3s. We'll get a second guy with the 1s. We have an early on plan, but it's always a moving target.
Klint, at the owners' meetings, when we asked you about kind of your foundationals, you.
Oh, wait a minute. Should we play it all the way through and then I go back and break it down, or should I break it down along the way? Because this is the first time I hear it. I'm hearing it, and I'm hearing certain already that I want to address. Do you guys want me to stop it, and or you wanted to play all the way through? This is for copyright also as well, so I will be making some changes to it and some developments and commentary. So let me know what you guys think. But I'm going to stop at this one time, but let me know for the rest of this video because it's only about like 10, 15 minutes.
You said you wanted to talk.
Ones getting up against what's defense. There's going to be times where it moves and certain guys are with the 2, certain guys with the 3s. We'll get a second guy with the 1s. We have an early on plan, but it's always a moving target.
Okay. I remember I was saying, let's not get caught up in who's with the 1s and who's with the 2s and this is with the 3s and all that stuff because I don't know if you guys ever been through a training camp, but if you've been through a training camp, you'll understand what I'm saying. That whether it's been like in college or even I don't know about high school, but college, semi-pro, whatever, that sometimes they put you with the 1s, no matter if you're the first string, second string, third string, they put you with those groups to see how you perform. If you're a starter and you play with the 1s, okay, of course. Now, if you get with the 2s and you don't look better a little bit, then there might be a little question. They put you with the 3s, you should be out there killing the 3s. Now, if you the third string and they put you with the 3s and you're holding your own, and then they put you with the 2s and you're still holding your own, and then they put you with the 1s and you out there as a third stringer, you should know, oh, this is my time to shine right here. I'm about to go kill the starters. And you go out there and you show that you can hang with the starters, then yeah, that'll get you a little bit of more look on the depth chart. It doesn't mean that you're better than the number 1 right now. It just means, okay, we'll give you a little bit more opportunity. Now, the key thing that Kubiak said is we had a plan. I don't know if y'all know about the old school A team with Hannibal when he says, I love it when a plan comes together. Because like my dad used to say, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So Klint Kubiak already had a plan coming in. I tried to explain it to people. The writing was on the wall. It was on the ceiling. I mean, he literally said that, hey, in my perfect world, this would be the situation. Before he even got here, when he first got here, he went and got Kirk Cousins. That was part of the plan. If you had a plan to bring in Kirk Cousins, why would you not start him? We had a quarterback on the roster, a capable quarterback in AOC that could have at least started the season, right? A lot of people said that AOC never really got a fair chance to start. If they really wanted to go that route and planned it that way, they would have went that way, but they didn't. What they did was they went and got a starter that they know that is viable. Not this old geriatric 38-year-old that can't beat out a number one draft pick. Like that's not the situation. That's not the situation. So Klint Kubiak, had a plan. And the plan was to start Cousins and let Mendoza learn as he goes. Because remember what I said, 25, 82, and 2. Y'all should be tired of me saying that. 25, 82, and 2. When the number 1 pick is a quarterback and he starts in the last 10 years, that's been the record. The average wins is 3.7 wins. So we're not putting him out there to get 3 or 4 wins. We trying to win some games, not 3 or 4 wins and get a number one, go get a top draft pick again this year. We're trying to advance the culture. If that's just where we are, then that's just where we are. But I don't think that's where we are. I think even last year we were better than the 3-win team. We just had a clusterfuck from the top down. So that was key when he said the plan. And you guys got to understand the plan. If you fail the plan, you plan to fail.
Klint, at the owners' meetings, when we asked you about kind of your foundationals, you said you wanted to talk to the team before you told us. And first day of training camp, what is a foundational truth for every practice in their building a regime for Klint Kubiak?
Yeah, team first approach is the number one thing that we're going to talk about. We talked about it all off season, but removing the word "I" from our verbiage as much as possible and thinking about the team, how we can make the team better, players, coaches, administrators, and just trying to keep the "I" out of the building as much as possible.
Over the season, before you left off for the off season, you said that you could ruin the off season in 40 days. That being said, how much effort and emphasis have you noticed from your team coming back in? And also, what were some things that you believe you did for yourself personally that got you mentally prepared to come back in this building?
Yeah, I guess we'll find out tomorrow at practice, how those guys spent their time. Just left a conditioning test. Guys did a great job there, but, playing football is a whole lot different than running 60 yards. So, we'll find out who the most self-motivated people were. As far as myself, it was just very important for our entire coaching staff to go be with their families and recharge that way, because you're so much more excited to come back in the building and work your tail off, when you are recharged. So I left them alone. I'm sure everyone does their own little things in the off season. I'm always going back to watch what we did, watching our cut ups, and just getting as familiar with the players as possible, so that come here, in about 12 practices, we're putting guys in the right position to make plays on game day.
All right. He said he wanted to take the I out of the team. There is an I in team, but we ain't gonna go there. We ain't gonna go there. But what he's saying is this: we're not trying to isolate any player in particular or be a I person myself, because it's a team thing that we have going on. He's been doing this all off season. Why do you think when they were talking about the quarterback, which is the most popular thing we've been talking about, is it's always been, hey, it's Klint, it's Kirk, Fernando, AOC, and Jacob. So you're not isolating one. Inside the building, they know who the number one was, but they're projecting to us as a united front, as they should, because it's a quarterback room. Now, it's a competition, because there are men out there, grown men out there, competing for a position, and not just the number one position. They're competing for the number 2 position. Jacob is competing to try to get on the squad in general. So there's competitions all across the board. So there isn't no I in team, but there is an I in win. I'm just saying. So, hey, good point. I seen Justice for 12, Black. Usually they go through training camp and preseason before the coach announced QB1. And that's the one thing that I was happy about, because I was like, dang, they ain't even wait to play it off during the preseason or even practice. But I think it's smart, though, because I kept trying to tell people that, look, they're not about to go through all these training camps where this quarterback plays this amount of time and each one of them get equal time. And then after the third game, then they're going to realize, okay, this is the starter, and then try to implement an offense around that starter between the last preseason game and the first real game. That doesn't make sense. That just doesn't make sense. So for Klint to come out and just say it right now, to get people on board right now, only it makes sense, because now you guys don't have to thrash out all during the preseason. AOC looks better than Fernando. Well, Fernando was playing good. Why are we starting? Why should we start a 38-year-old Kirk Cousins? Look, Clint, Ice Cube just told us what the plan is. So don't start deviating from what the plan is, y'all. The content creators out there that want to make content, that want to be divisive, go ahead. I'm calling y'all out. 'Cause I'm about to start calling out some of the ones that don't like certain players, hate these players, but telling y'all that they like these players just to get y'all money. Just to get y'all to go come on their channels for clicks and views and likes. Trust me, the AdSense don't pay that much for you to sell your soul or sell out to try to get a couple dollars. Not me anyway. Yeah, I'm not that guy. I'm a real Raider. I'm not one of these content creators that's perping as a Raider fan. I don't care if you got tattoos. I don't care if you do only Raider content. I don't care if you name your kid Max Crosby. Real is real, fake is fake. I told y'all I'm here to check fools in the whole nine. So it's the Raider bad guy. It's the Raider bad guy. So yes, Justice for 12. I agree with you. They normally do that, and I'm glad Kubiak just came out and said, "Look, this is what it is." So I still want Kirk Cousins to start. Yeah, don't worry about it. He will. Furpo, what's good with you? Jermod McCoy, J Mac. I don't know. I think they're gonna discuss it. So let's find out. What's up with your brother Unleashed, Raider Unleashed, and all those in the Unleashed Militia? Shout out to y'all. I ain't seen you in a while, brother. I started to worry about it. He said tomorrow Kirk will be the guy and expects the others to push him. Okay. He also said best players will play. Yeah, but I've been telling y'all who the best player is, but y'all didn't want to believe me because they haven't been on the field yet. And I'm trying to tell y'all, like, they don't have to go on the field. Like, even if I was going into camp, I know who's the better guy. And I know who I need to compete against. It's not no blank slate, and we all just see who culminates the best stats at that point. But when they talk about that, we'll get to that. But I do want to hear what they say about Jeremiah. What's up with Ray Flores? But I'm glad you're here, my guy. I appreciate you.
How did the team come back as far as health wise? Is everyone good to go for tomorrow's practice?
We are. Everyone's going to be practicing tomorrow. Yep.
What is the plan along those lines? I guess what is the plan for Jermod McCoy in training camp and going forward?
Yeah, the plan is to get him reps early, see how he responds. You know,
Yeah, the power went out. Sorry about that, y'all. Hold on. Let me get the lighting. Are you guys there? The power went out. Let me know if you guys put a one in the chat if you guys hear me and see my if you see the screen. All right, all right, all right, all right. Let's get back to it. Let's get back to it. Let's get back to it. Let me know if you guys can hear me in the chat. Sorry, the power went out. It's storming. It's storming. Everybody coming after your boy, because I'm about to let y'all know the business. I'm trying to give y'all the education. You know, I'm all about the education over here. I'm literally on my hotspot right now. I had to get the hotspot going on my phone, y'all. So let me know if y'all can hear me. Because I told y'all, don't nobody work harder than me. Ain't nothing stopping me. Ain't nothing stopping me. Okay, here we go. All right, let's get back to it, y'all. Okay.
That's worked extremely hard and has, in about 12 practices, we're putting guys in the right position to make plays on game day.
How did the team come back as far as health wise? Is everyone good to go for tomorrow's practice?
We are. Everyone's going to be practicing tomorrow. Yep.
What is the plan along those lines? I guess, what is the plan for Jamad McCoy in training camp and going forward?
Yeah, the plan is to get him reps early, see how he responds, in his recovery. It is a moving target with him. He's a guy that's worked extremely hard and has been dedicated to the program that we've put in front of him. But Jamad hasn't played football in a year, and we're aware of that. But he's ready to go practice tomorrow, and we're also going to be really smart with him.
Okay, great. Another thing that you know what, I am in alignment with these Raiders, not because I'm a Raider fan, because I'm a Raider. I was born into this. I tried to tell you, I literally woke up every day looking at the Oakland Coliseum. Every day, outside of my window, outside of my window every day, I could see the Oakland Coliseum. I can hear it from where I live. Anytime there was fireworks, I literally could see it. I literally could see the Coliseum. So anyway, I'm just douche, y'all. Please forgive me because I'm really excited right now. The thing about it is, Jermod hasn't played in a year. Even if his knee is fine, he hasn't played in a year. So a lot of people that were saying, "Hey, he's going to be the cornerback, and he's even good enough to take Stokes' job," and I mean Stokes' job. I'm like, y'all, we gotta slow down. Like Kobe said, slow down. Like Clyde Carson said, slow down. I know you can't catch me, but let's slow down because the guy ain't even played in a year. He got to get back in shape. He got to get back in football shape. It's one thing to be running sprints and running cones and all that versus football shape. So they're going to bring him on slowly so they don't overexert him. Like I said, I wouldn't start him in the beginning of the year. I'll let him get some spot work. And if he go in there and put in work, then we work him in some more. And then if he shows that he can keep up at a certain level, then you start him. So they're being very intelligente. They've been intelligent when they dealing with him because he is a moving target. Like, you know how hard it is? You know what he mean by that? You know how hard it is to hit a moving target? It's hard to hit a target that's stationary, but you know how hard it is to hit a moving target? It takes precision. Sniper game. I don't know if y'all can see what I got. Oh, I don't I'm in the in the war room right now. But usually I have the black the quarterback thing in the back, and it's a scope sniper. Jamad is a moving target, so we gotta use precision when we're dealing with him. Precision. So I liked what I heard out of Kubiak right there. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button, man. Please make sure y'all hit the like button because ever since I got monetized, YouTube has been kicking my impressions down, and because they're trying to find the a bigger audience. So I just got to be patient with it. But you guys can support and help with hitting that like button and sharing it and hitting the subscribe button, y'all. So I appreciate y'all.
develop them the right way.
As far as Max Crosby, for tomorrow, do you expect him to be a full participant, or is it going to be a situation you guys have to ease him in since he missed so much time in the spring?
He's going to get all the reps tomorrow with the ones. He's ready to go. He's ready to practice.
Let's go.
Again, as practice unfolds and we're watching our players, it's always a moving target. But as of right now, tomorrow is a pretty short work day, hour and 30 minutes. So we're expecting to be ready to take all those reps.
Let's go.
One thing you have to perfect during training camp. Obviously, this whole season's a work in progress, but for you, by the end of training camp, what do you want to see just top notch?
It's just really important that come game one that our players are doing what they do best on game day. So identifying their strengths and putting them in position to make plays on game day. So we're not asking guys to do something that they can't do really well. So that's how we identify those strengths is really important to us as coaches.
Coach, no more Daniel Carlson. AJ said it was kind of fun to have rookies in camp. What has that looked like to you so far?
You mean just having as many rookies as we do have as part of the roster?
Kickers, like rookie kickers kind of hanging out.
Yeah, well, just having competition is always good at the snapper position, at the kicker position. Competition is great for the whole team. So look forward to watching those guys compete and making each other better.
As you prepare to enter your first training camp as a head coach, is there anybody that you leaned on or anybody that you took advice from in developing your plan?
The guys that we hired, we got a veteran staff, we got some mix of youth, but just being in constant contact with all of our coaches and making sure we're on the same page. But Mike McCoy as the assistant head coach, Joe DeCamillis, many years of experience, Rick Dennison, many years of experience. Those are guys that I lean on every day.
Your coaching style, you embrace the grind. You like that. How much are you looking forward to watching that battle for those two guard spots?
This is a good question. Good question, Hondo. Good question.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't get to even put pads on, I think, till the, sixth practice. So we got.
Wait. I thought I heard him say they only get 12 practices. And you don't put pads on to the sixth practice. Oh, yeah, so it ain't no way y'all would have been able to figure out who was the best quarterback is in 6 practices that's left. Oh, yeah, bro. It's even clearer now for sure. So for anybody that don't think Cousin Kirk is going to start week 1, y'all, please get off the BART. Get off the BART, because this is not going to Delulu. We're not going to Delulu Melon. We're not going to Deluluville. We're not doing none of that. Go over there with the gossip guys. The gossip guys that feed your ego. The gossip guys that tell y'all anything to get y'all to be happy and excited and exhilarated. This is not the spot.
A lot of work to do before then, but we have a lot of talented players at that position. They'll make the decision for us. So we're going to coach them up, and we also know that whoever started in week 1 doesn't mean that's the starter in week 17. So we're always developing and getting guys better throughout the entire training camp and throughout the whole season.
Now, I'm not going to ignore he said that. I'm not going to ignore that he said that, because I could easily ignore that and act like I didn't hear him say that. I'm going to keep it real with y'all, whether I'm right or wrong, left or right, up or down. I'm going to keep it real with y'all. I'm going to keep it real with y'all, for sure. Now, just because you started week 1 doesn't mean you're going to start week 17. That means if you're not consistently fighting for yourself to be number 1, then you won't be number 1 if you get caught. That could mean even at the quarterback position. I think it's a little harder for the quarterback to catch you during the season because, for one, you don't get that many reps as the backup. You only get like 20% of the reps in practice, maybe 5 to 10 snaps in practice. In the event that the starter does get hurt, you're not going out there totally cold, but the starter is going to get 80% of the reps. Now, on the other positions, it's easier for you, especially linemen. Yeah, you can lose your position if you out there getting beat and you're not doing what we need to do. Because what that does is going to affect the run game. Same thing with the defense. If you out there getting burnt, or you out there not getting sacks, or is another player out there that's playing less than you and he's doing more than you, he's going to get more opportunities. So I like that because that's the mentality that Coach Koob got. Is like, look, we got to get better every day. We got to get that 1% better every day because everybody's job is on the line. And that's what I love about Ice Cube, that he's always like, all of our jobs is tied to what goes on right now. So it's because you start week 1, don't mean you start week 17. That means we always going to have competition.
What are you looking for at those spots? How will they make that decision for you?
Just looking for consistency, looking for guys that are great teammates, that are obviously solid in pass protection, excellent in the run game, and guys that just help make the team better. You know, the best athlete is the one that's going to win the job. It's the guy that plays the best with the other 5 around him. And then, you know, offensive line wise, unless you're playing tackle, you better be able to play multiple spots. So having versatile guys is very important.
Early to ask, but is there one person or position group who's won the offseason for you?
Is there a position group that has won the offseason? You know, I just give a whole lot of credit to Alex Guerrero and AJ and our training staff. I thought, you know, those guys do such a phenomenal job of putting our players' bodies in position to be successful, and tracking data and just really taking it to the next level with the technology that we can to get the guys ready to go and challenge them. So you know, the players' challenge is up ahead. I'm really impressed with our, you know, the guys, the training staff and the weight staff.
I love how he answered that. But I think she was probably referring to some players. And I didn't know how you would answer that already, but you could be impressed by somebody. But the way he answered that, and I submit team player. It's all about removing the I, removing the me, and turn it into we. Removing the me and turn it into we. So we're doing good. They're doing good overall. The staff, like he said in my intro, and like he said in another presser. Why not? Why not this roster? Why not this group of people inside the building? Why not this staff? Why not? I'm loving it.
How do you chart growth for Fernando over the next several weeks? What are you looking for? What do you want to measure?
Well, you know, it's not just charting picks and completion percentage. It is, you know, we've put a lot on his plate in this offseason. We expect a lot out of him as these practices start coming. So the thing that stands out to me is, you know, he's going to have plenty of adversity like his teammates. And how does he deal with it? Does he make the same mistake twice? How quickly can he correct himself? You know, when he does make a mistake, what's his attitude like? What's his demeanor like? Those are really important things for quarterbacks.
You mentioned, you know, being able to watch a veteran quarterback and learn through osmosis. How valuable has Kirk Cousins been so far for Fernando early on?
Yeah, I mean, I would say his value as a player on our team is the most important thing. You know, his leadership, his veteran presence, you know, the way that he played in the spring was excellent. So we brought him here to play really good football, and obviously the mentorship that's a byproduct of that. That's the kind of guy that Kirk is. But Kirk knows, and Fernando knows, and Aiden knows, and Jacob knows that, you know, they're here to play great football, and you know, that's our job as coaches to get them ready for the other stuff.
What are you hoping to see out of Jack Besh and Dante Thornton when training camp starts?
Yeah, just see him compete. You know, there's a lot of competition in that receiver room. So let's just go play ball and may the best man win. Also knowing that those guys got to be able to play special teams for us and play them at a high level. So just like we talked about with the line, whoever's, you know, starting and getting more reps in week 1, it's a long season and everyone's going to play. So we just need those guys to compete and make sure that they're available for all these practices so they can keep getting better.
All right. Now, that might alarm some people about your starter or high draft picks or DT and Bish playing special teams. Now, let me explain something that maybe I don't know. I'm sure a handful of y'all may or may not know, right? Is the way you earn your way on the field if you're not a starter is to show up and show out on special teams. Some people don't know that. And even when I first started playing, I didn't know that, but I just wanted to be on the field. Like I just wanted to be on the field, and even though I thought I should have been playing receiver, because before I was a quarterback, I was a receiver, first team all conference. I'm a better wide receiver than I am quarterback. But I made my mark on special teams. They used to call me the special freak because I used to go out there. I had more tackles on special teams than some people on defense. Like I legit earned my way on the field through special teams. And not only that, it just keeps you engaged in the team and it keeps you engaged in the game. So that way, in the event you do get in, you're already locked in. You're not on the sideline talking about, man, look at him. He dropped that ball. Man, he ran the wrong route. Man, why coach ain't put me in? Coach, put me in. I can beat him. I remember coach had made fun of one of our players that said that I ain't gonna bust him out because he come on the podcast sometimes. But we play football together. So he can tell you that I ain't capping about what I'm talking about. But instead of being like that, being a consummate team and taking the I out of it, taking the me out of it and putting in the we, you earn your way on special teams. Not to mention there's three phases to the game: offense, defense, special teams. And how you win those close games? Special teams. So if you got players that's playing at a high level on special teams, you can win some games there. And we're going to need help there because we're unsure about where what our kicking is looking like. We're not sure if we are going to be able to win games through our kicking game, through the special teams. There's more than one special team. There's more than the field goals. There's the kickoff team. There's the punt team. There's the punt return team. There's the kickoff return team. There's the hands team for offsides. So there's many layers to the special teams. So I love what I'm hearing right there. So don't take that if for some reason that DT or Jay Besh or any other starters or anybody that's not a starter that's not going to start or whatever that happened to see it when I clip this StreamYard, then I hope you understand the importance of it. But I'm sure you guys do.
For you, going into your first training camp as a head coach, what are your emotional likes and how you're feeling about being in this position and on a completely new role?
Just focusing. I mean, it's obviously that I'm in a new role, but it's a we thing. Our coaching staff is making sure that we're on our stuff so that we're the best versions of ourselves for these players, so we can be great teachers and give these guys the information they need to have and put them through the stresses that we believe they'll see in the game, so that the game is not as hard as practice. So it's just it's more about our staff working together with the scouts, with this training staff, and being on the same page for these players.
Outside of this building, obviously being the number 1 overall pick, Fernando gets a lot of attention, but Cignetti said that what set him apart to him was his willingness to prepare before the game. Was that one of the things that really stood out to you as you went through the evaluation process? Is that willingness to prepare? Again, he's not Tom, he's a rookie, but you heard the same things about Tom.
Yeah, I think that's what you expect out of a quarterback. And just because someone says they work hard, there's totally different levels to that. And I would say in the evaluation process that he stood head and shoulders above others that I've been around. That doesn't guarantee you anything on Sunday. So it's a head start. Gives him a great chance to go have a heck of a practice, but it's really what he does on the field, which is what's going to decide his fate. And but the way that he prepares in a meeting room is what you want.
It was cool is air frying right now. You keep telling us it's not about these little things. Yeah, sure, that helps you, it puts you in position. But what really happened is how does it translate when you play? I get that he's a smart guy and he can uh he can learn the playbook quickly and all that. We've seen that with other quarterbacks that we have, AOC. He's a smart guy. Like AOC is love that about AOC. Like he comes in, he's prepared all the time, and he looks like he's prepared when he plays because he's very decisive because he knows his limitation. So he has to be smart from the neck up. He knows that. But then what hurts him is what happens on the field. And that's why I'm so critical of him. Even with Mendoza, yes, you can learn the playbook, but how does that translate on the field? Because what happens when the defense start doing things you're not familiar with that's not in that playbook? Kirk Cousins already know those things. He already know the adjustments. He already know the audibles to that. So just that alone, you're not going to beat the player that already got the information because he does who has the knowledge. That's why the best player is going to play. Now, does that mean by week 16, week 17, that Mendoza might not be that guy? Maybe week 14, whatever the number is. Yeah, he can catch up, but that's contingent on if Cousins decide to play down. Like if he hits a wall, he gets injured, or they just figured him out now, finally, after 15 seasons. It takes a culmination of things. It's not just one thing you look at and be like, oh, he's ready because of this. He's the number one this because he's that and he's beating this and yeah, that is cool, but all that doesn't translate what's going on right now. And Coach Koob just said it, man. He just said it. Let me just play it again because I don't want people to think that's Black saying that. That's Coach saying that.
What is the
But it's of others that have, just because someone says they work hard, there's totally different levels to that. And I would say in the evaluation process that he stood head and shoulders above others that I've been around. That doesn't guarantee you anything on Sunday. So it's a head start. Gives him a great
Head
chance
start,
to go have a heck of a practice, but it's really what he
practice.
does on the field, which is what's going to decide his fate. And but the way that he prepares in a meeting room is what you want.
What is the benefit or the drawback of having to do early morning practices on the field before you do other work inside the building?
Yeah, the benefit is being outside on the grass. That's the benefit. These players' bodies are Ferraris, and they perform better on the grass. The negative is not having a meeting before practice. That's the way I see it.
From a health standpoint, how important is that also with this heat? What other things are you doing to protect the players?
Yeah, well, it's promoting, all the things away from the field is hydration and nutrition and sleep habits and the things that Ricky and our training staff are, showing these guys in team meetings. So we have a really great staff there, but it's it's just part of our team meetings every day is how do we take the best care of our body, and it starts with going to sleep early tonight so that they're ready to practice tomorrow.
Since you're not able to meet before practice due to how early you start practice, is there something that you guys do to supplement that?
Yeah, we do. We just, we use our afternoon walkthroughs to prepare for the next day's practice. We got, great technology sending out the materials to guys' iPads, film, and scripts. Yes, there's quite a few things that we do, and then that's where players have to be self-motivated and go back to their hotel room and, instead of shooting the breeze, is getting down and studying their scripts on their iPad.
Okay, so this is where it's legit, where people say, let's leave the rapping, the podcasting, even playing Madden and all that stuff. It's time to put that down. It's time to put all of that down. I'm glad to see Max. He's already said they're not doing a podcast, and I believe till maybe after the first game of the season or something like that, because he's locking in. I think they did drop a video today or something like that, which I do want to review those. Matter of fact, the last 2 or 3 shows. So if you guys are in the membership, and shout out to D Menace. D Menace gifted 5 memberships last night on the show. And so I'm gonna do content for those. So I'll probably do some reviewing of those shows on the membership. And also shout out to J-Ro. J-Ro was a sponsor of the show last night. So he's gonna be a sponsor of the show until someone else um does more than him, because he's a sponsor so far. Because this is a Raider Nation thing, it's a One Nation thing. I'm starting to hear people say a little bit more. It's good, but it's the brand One Nation. It's really One Nation over here. It ain't. I'm not just saying it. Does it sound good? Because I'm gonna take the brother I want to beat up all the time. You still my brother, even if you ain't talking to me or you lying on me or you doing whatever. And just every time I see you, I'm just gonna give you a little niggy, little brother, little brother. But I see you though, brother, because I see what you're doing, brother. You're following Big Bro. I see you. But it's gonna be I'm the rookie of the year. I'm trying to be the MVP, the most valuable podcaster. So let's get to it. Let's lock it down for sure. Raider first down. What's good with you, brother?
But you've had a few months to call Las Vegas home. But have you and your family had the opportunity to really experience this community?
Yeah, we have. Really, ever since I got here, it's been such an impressive place to be. I'm really proud to be a part of this community, and I'm really looking forward to working my tail off with our staff to earn a spot in this community. So I got a lot of work to do there.
Do you have a favorite part about training camp? Anything specific?
The thing that I love about football is teaching the players and building relationships. And when you're with the guys 11 hours a day is what the league gives you. You can't help but build great relationships. You can't hide from each other. Those are the things that you love about being a coach. So during training camp, there is no wins and losses. There's a lot less pressure that way for the players, but there is a lot of great time to get to know each other, and that's what stands out.
You've told us a couple of times leading up to this that your preference is to have a rookie watch a veteran quarterback. But do you categorize that as a competition? Is it Kirk is the starter with the other guys trying to catch him? I guess how do you categorize that?
Yeah. For every position, there's got to be competition, right? The best player has to play. And that's not just what I'm going to see. You guys are going to see it in the preseason games. We as coaches, we're going to see who the best guard is, okay, best quarterback across the board. There's battles everywhere on the roster. So it's important for me to be fair to the players is to put the best player out there. When we go out to practice tomorrow, Kirk Cousins is the starting quarterback. He's the guy. And he's going to get a ton of reps. And he deserves them because he's played really good football. Okay, best quarterback across the board. There's battles everywhere on the roster. So it's important for me to be fair to the players is to put the best player out there. When we go out to practice tomorrow, Kirk Cousins is the starting quarterback. He's the guy. And he's going to get a ton of reps. And he deserves them because he's played really good football. But I want Fernando and I want Aiden to push him.
Well said. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
Okay. So for the people that were saying that don't just give him the job. He just said he was the best player up until this point, and he deserved it. I even heard somebody say it was nepotism. That was a funny way to use it, but like just because he brought him in, he's gonna be the de facto starter because of nepotism. It sounded like he said Kirk Cousins just showed to be better at this point, right? And he's going to get a gang of reps, hella reps. He should have just said hella reps. If he'd have said that, I would have jumped out my skin. He gonna get a gang of reps. So I'm gonna go through the comments because I know Webb got something in there for us. And he always dropped them jewels. I'm trying to tell y'all. Let me see what he said. What he say? Oh, okay. Oh, super chat. I got 5 on it. He said, Cook, like the quarterback Cook. I'm air frying. You could even you can put frozen food in the air fryer and it's gonna be right. You could put old fast food or old pizza in the air fryer and it's gonna bounce back like it just got cooked. I'm air frying this season because I'm there. Like I said, you win championships in the off season, and I locked in coming into this off season because I didn't want to just show up during the regular season and then try to cook without y'all knowing who I am, not seeing my grind. And yeah, I'd say I'm the hardest working and all that. And yeah, it might rub some people the wrong way, but that's because I know what it takes to win. I've been on teams that lost hella much. I've been on teams that's been on the bubble, and I've also won championships. So I know what it takes, and I just have supreme confidence in myself and in you guys, the real ones, to know what it really is. And that's why I say, if you the type of person that's in your feelings first before your logic, this ain't the channel for you. I'm passionate. I'm very passionate. I would deem to say I'm one of the most passionate people on YouTube. But I'm not gonna put my passion before my logic. Because when I do that, I let you guys know that. I'll let you know that, hey, this is Black talking from the heart. Like this is just what I want to see. This is just how I feel. You know what I'm saying? So otherwise, I'm coming from a place of logic, what I've heard, because being on teams, and I wasn't always like the first string. So you got to hear what the coach is telling you. And I wasn't the type of guy that liked to go to the coach's office. I used to hate that. Players that they used to go to the coach's office and then they get more love from the coach. But I understood that's something that you need to do. That's part of the relationship. I just was never that guy. So I had to listen to what the coach was saying. I had to learn when the coach was doing coach speak. I was telling y'all about coach speak, about the things Kubiak was saying, some of the things that was like straight lace, no chase, and some of the things that he was saying, like, you got to read between the lines on this one because he can't tell us everything. He can't expose his hand to everybody, not to the fan. So other other franchises know what we're doing. We have an element of surprise that's going on right now because they don't know what we got over here. We barely know what we got over here, but once we figure it out, we ain't gonna come and do a presser and tell everybody what we got. But it's funny because the media just started saying all these things about Kirk is being the de facto number one going into week one. Some of these people, which was strange because we hadn't even went through through preseason yet, or even regular minicamp. But they changed their tune because that's what the media does. They do what they want to do to excite you. They do it to get clicks. They do to get you favored so you can favor their channel or their page. And a lot of our YouTubers are doing that. And I don't like that, but I respect it though. I respect it, but not to the level that I respect the game. You know what I'm saying? Hate the game, not the player. So I respect them doing what they got to do to feed their families and all that, but I'm just not that guy. 'Cause y'all, if you see me on this platform over there and y'all see me here, it's different. And if y'all see me with other content creators and y'all don't see me respond to them the way I respond to them, it's because it's different. I'm going to treat the situation the way it really is, not the way I want to project it. To me, that's kind of fake. But hey, each their own. I'm gonna do what I do, and I'm gonna cook. I'm gonna air fry the way I air fry. So shout out to you, Raider. First down. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Let's get into these comments because you guys are the chat runners over here. We have smart people in these chats, and I love that because it helps me think. And a lot of times, you guys check me on things that I'm like, okay, wait a minute, maybe I'm a little off here. Let me look at it from this perspective. Let me consider this. Or you'll say something, and it solidifies what I say and what I think. Because I want us all to be right. I want us all to be on the same page. It's not even about being right, really. It's about being on the same page. Because you win championships from the top down and not the player up. And for us to do that, it's not even the player up. I'm gonna have to change that a little bit because really it's from the staff, the fans, and the player up. But the players are the ones that it really start with. But we all got to be in sync with with the franchise because the stuff we've been doing over the last couple of years, justifiably so, because we've been putting a product out there that we don't know what the heck is going on out there. So I can understand why some of the people were delusioned or PTSD, post-traumatic Super Bowl deficient. I understood it why we was crashing out. But then I tried to come and be the voice of reason. Because today is Talk to Him Thursday, like I do on In Your Feelings Monday. I try to be somewhat of a therapist, not like Dr. Cheyenne Bryant or Dr. Lyanne Bryant, who's lying about her paperwork. I'm just trying to be a hood therapist for us because I know the Raiders. I really know the Raiders. Not to say y'all don't, but I do really know. Okay, so here we go. My man's is back. My man, 50 grand. I think I addressed this when I first started. He said tomorrow Kirk will be the guy and expects the other two to push him. Yeah, that's the nice thing to say. That's just essentially saying, look, this is the guy. He's going to get majority of the reps. And what I need you guys to do is work as hard as you can to knock him off that pedestal because that's going to keep him sharp. Iron sharpens iron. That doesn't mean every week it's a quarterback competition. It don't mean that. It means I want you guys not to lose your fire. That's the whole reason why you don't separate them, because you don't want one quarterback to get into his feelings. That's why I was like, why is Aiden O'Connell talking about he want to start somewhere, knowing he wasn't going to start here? Like now you bring a division inside the QB room into the team. Are you bigger than the Shield now? Now, if that's something that they all discuss and or they understand that they want him to get film so he can audition and have a resume for his the other 31 teams in the league. Deal with them. This as long as we know that, and AOC didn't just go rogue and start talking about, man, I just want to see if I want to be a starter in this league. Now, if he went rogue and said that, that's cool too, because this is his contract year. So put yourself in the best position to do for you and your wife and your family, bro. Because I want you to succeed. You a Raider. Once a Raider, always a Raider. I'm not hating on you, but we got a vision right now. And y'all already know how Coach Kubiak is acting right now. Matter of fact, not just him, everybody. First person act up, first person getting drugged out. It applied to Max, so it applies to AOC, and it applies to whoever else that want to get out of line. Because none of them players is bigger than the Shield to me. So I get that he didn't explicitly say week one. You can't say that right now. But I promise you that's not going to change. Just like what I've been saying since April 3rd hasn't changed all the way up to what's this, July what now? The 28th? April, all of May, all of June, all of July. 4 months. I've been telling y'all for 4 months. And now all of a sudden you thinking these 12 practices, 6 of them that's padded, is going to change what's going on. No, we need to install the offense starting now. We need to install the offense for the QB anyway, because the QB needs to know everything like the coach. Yeah, the rest of you guys, you linemen and everybody else, y'all need to scrap it out. You guards, you need to figure it out. We need to see who's going to play in these positions. Yeah, you corners and you safeties and all that, y'all need to figure it out. Just like I wouldn't be surprised if he just going to call Stooks a starter at this point. Not at this point, but in camp. Because he's the quarterback, he's going to be the quarterback of the defense. I'm sure the linebackers are somewhat of the quarterback, but the safety, our free safety, he's going to be the quarterback because he's the one that needs to see everything and know everything. Those are the two guys that need to really be right there with it, ahead of the curve, not trying to compete for a position. Stooks ain't competing for a position. He's our free safety. I'm hearing people say Taron Johnson. No, he's a nickel, man. We need Stooks to go in there and learn how to be a nickel back, a free safety, a box safety, just like he was doing in Arizona. So we need to give him the information. Why do you think Coach Kubiak said, "Hey, um, we need a captain here. You've been a captain all these years. Do that for us." What did he say? Anything you need, Coach. Goosebumps. I swear, I wish y'all could see this because that's just what it is, man. That's how we building our team. And y'all can get on the late, Bart. If you know anything about the Bay Area Rapid Transit, it runs all day until a certain time. You can catch the late, Bart. It's cool. I'm not leaving y'all behind. But the people that's on the early Bart, y'all just in the know. I'll double back. I would like to see if you come back on the show, though, bro. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I told you, here go Webb. Straight from the horse's mouth. But even that won't convince certain factions of the nation. I don't know what to tell them, bro. I don't know what to tell them. I don't know what to tell them. I just keep saying what I've been saying. Let's see. Let's see what else you guys got. Okay, let's see. Oh, you guys are cooking. You guys are cooking. Let me see. Yeah, triple OG, Frank Webb. Yes. Let's see. Raider first down. Say Klint will fire people if they don't perform. He would even fire Kirko if he doesn't coach up right. Yeah, that's why I said first person act up, first person get drug out. He ain't exempt. If Kirko chains turn green, guess what? He got to go. He fake. Bring in Fernando. Bring in El Capitan. Fernando Mendoza. Bring him in. I agree with you. He said, when we go out to practice tomorrow, Cousins will be the guy and take majority first team snaps, the majority of them. But he expects players to push him. Yes, you're supposed to always push him. Even if you're the third string, you should prepare like you're the starter if you're the third string. If you're the backup, you're supposed to prepare like you're the starter. You're supposed to push the guy. What does pushing him mean to you? Maybe I'm losing sight of that. What do you mean by pushing? Like make it hard for him to keep his job? But guess what? It's his job to lose. Like I've been saying, it's his job to lose. Kirk Cousins, the only way he loses his job is if he hit that wall that Max Kellerman was saying Tom Brady was going to hit. Or if he get injured. Knock on wood if you with me, because I don't want nobody to get injured. I'm telling you, if y'all hanging on that little twig of just push him in practice, and he didn't say week one, it's supporting your weight right now. But that whole tree y'all was in, that AOC could start week one. Fernando could be the starter and all that, and it's a true competition, all that. That tree is already starting to lean. But that branch y'all sitting on, that twig, is gonna break. Now I get it, like my dad used to say, the leaning tree ain't always the first to fall. So just because the tree leaning don't mean you're wrong. Because anything could happen. You could end up being right. You could be right. But up until this point right now, that's not the case. Now, do I reserve the right to be wrong later on down the road? And I was very loud with how I'm talking, yeah, I'm gonna be very loud with my I'm wrong. And I'll bring you on the show and I'll let you read me the riot act all show long. I will. And I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm gonna just sit there and be like, you was right, bro. I saw something else. Or this happened and that's what caused this. I couldn't have foreseen that, but you gotta leave a portion of the unforeseen to be true because I don't know 100%. They don't even know 100% because we don't know what tomorrow might bring. Somebody might get a non-contact injury, a freak accident, or while they practicing during hitting, something can happen, or whatever. So you gotta leave that open. But come on, like all things being equal, you should know that Kirk Cousins is obviously the better player, a 15-year veteran. I'm talking about a veteran that played at a high level, not somebody that just was in the league that was a backup. He wasn't no backup. Where was he a back? He was a backup for the Redskins or the Commanders, and even that became an issue. Then they tried to reduce him to a backup in Atlanta, and guess what happened? The quarterback got broke up, Penix. The coach lost his job and the GM. Reading the room wrong. Don't be that guy. Don't be them people that read the room wrong, y'all. Don't be that. We know better than that. We do know better than that, y'all. Raider Ryan was good with you, brother. Raider Jason said, I would be happy Cousins starting, but let Mendoza get some first team reps too. He will. He'll get some first team reps. Like 20%. We don't need to split reps because what Luho say? When you have two quarterbacks, you have zero quarterbacks. There's a reason for that. Kirk Cousins needs all the reps that he can get because we are installing a new offense with a new O line, what we need continuity with. New playbook. Granted that he does know a lot of the playbook, so that gives us we're ahead of the curve. So we want to keep it that way. We don't want to use that ahead of the curve for Mendoza to try to figure out a way. Mendoza will get his reps in practice as the scout quarterback, which is good because now he gets to see how he'll be going up against the first team defense, and he can. And I used to love scout team. I was a starter and used to love going on scout team because they used to have like a little card, like the index cards. They used to have the colors of the wide receiver: red, blue, green, yellow. And I used to be like, oh, okay, I want to run this route and do this. I want to work on this. I want to be the red. Or I would know who the primary receiver is in that bunch, and I would go try to be the primary. Or I don't necessarily have to, but I would. And that's when you sharpen your skills at. And coaches love that. At the time I was doing it, I wasn't doing it for that, but I understood it later on that coaches love that because you can learn a lot, and that's more reps. You gotta find your way out. You gotta figure out a way to get reps. I mean, it used to be so greasy that players used to say, "Coach told me to go." I used to be like, "Well, coach better tell me to let you go because I ain't letting you go." Yeah, we on the same team, but you ain't about to out rep me. And then sometimes, as a backup, you try to steal the starter reps. I used to try to steal my boy Nell Diddy reps. Now let me get this rep. Now let me get this rep. You gonna play anyway, bro? You getting some water? Let me get this rep. You gotta go fight for it. It ain't no blueprint to it's a blueprint, but I mean, there's some stuff on the outside. You got to get it how you live. A good coach never lets the fans know his quarterback. Facts, factuals, factuals. Here's the pushback. A good coach also doesn't just hand somebody the job because of his body of work in the past at 39 years old. Didn't he? Didn't I just hear him say he earned it? He didn't say anything about what he did in the past. He didn't mention nothing like that. I know I didn't hear him say that. He didn't just hand him the job. Matter of fact, he went and got him for a reason because he has confidence in him. He doesn't have confidence in Mendoza yet. He's a rookie. And this offense is not easy like that. And we have an O-line that we don't know about. Why are we going to put him out there? Oh, if you're talking about Aiden O'Connell, oh, you really think Aiden O'Connell is better than Kirk Cousins, Pro Bowler? Aiden O'Connell has started a total of one season over 3 years. And you're comparing him to a guy that has been a Pro Bowler, has played multiple seasons all the way through. You know the stat, 7 times, 4,000 yards. We've only did it 6 times in our whole franchise, and we had like 20, 21 quarterbacks. We only had 3 that have done it. DC, y'all know it. DC did it 4 times. Carson Palmer did it once. Rich Gannon did it once. 6 times. Yeah, so if we're not going to look at the past at all, then we're going to look at what they've been doing in OTAs and all the other stuff. And obviously, he said he's earned it. The best player is going to play. He didn't say anything about that he was going to have Kirk Cousins come in because of his body of work. He said the best player is playing. Up until this point, Kirk Cousins has been the best player because he's the one that probably is commanding the offense, and they're out there showing confidence with him. AOC probably not going to be with the team long, man. And I promise, if they do trade him, I'm not going to go in because, like I said, once a Raider, always a Raider. I like AOC, and I've learned to like him even more because of y'all, because I've really been watching his film. I went back and started watching him. What makes AOC AOC? Because, like I said, I have a problem with any player that can't play the whole season. I don't care what you do statistically. If you can't stay on the field the whole time, why am I going to fall in love with your play? Why am I going to fall in love with that? What it is that you do, so I can let myself down when you get injured and scramble and scrape around for a solution? Mhm. Frank Webb said, "Yeah, though." He said, "Yeah, absolutely." That was his answer. So, what about the 3 times in the interview? Okay, let me help you. I thought I've been trying to uh, tell you about it. So, what about the 3 times in the interview he said the best player will play? Does that not include the quarterback competition? And if you don't have a competition at that position, how do you know who the best player is? I think I answered that already. It's cool. You don't think it's being bigger than the Shield not having to compete for your position? How do you know they're not competing? They've been going at this since OTAs. You could tell, bro. You could tell who's an obvious. I can because I play quarterback. I can because I play wide receiver. I can look and see who's better. You can tell you who's better without even looking at what they did in the past. Matter of fact, when I went to school in West Virginia, one quarterback comes from this school in this state, another quarterback comes from another school in another state. We know who the better one is. I mean, even in spring. Yeah, sure they gotta prove it with pads, but come on, you really think in pads AOC is better than Kirk Cousins in pads? I don't know. Maybe you do. Of course, the best athlete isn't always the best player. True. You don't just get 6 padded practice. You get padded practices in between each preseason game, but they only get 14. Okay, okay, that's better. I don't know if you get padded practice in between weeks because you still after you play on Saturday or whatever day, you got to have a day to recoup your body, and you're only going to hit on maybe 1 or 2 of those days, maybe 2 at the most. You're not hitting all week long. They don't do that no more. But I'll look more into that. I'll look more into that. Yeah, it's football next month. Let's see. It says already knew what's up. They were when they signed Cousins. Yeah, you should have. You should have known what was up when they signed Cousins. Yes. Let's see. Now that we should do this and we should do that, doesn't matter. Let's sit back and see this work we put in. Yes, Raider first down. Say that again, bro. We already know what it is. Let's sit back and enjoy the show at this point. Let's not keep causing this division in the nation. Let's not do that. Let's see what else you guys got. What else you guys got? So I don't know, man. I don't know what else could be said. Coach Poop said what it is. It is what it is. Like we can't keep being in our emotions about that. He's telling us what it is. I know we feel like we should start this guy, but that's not where we are with it. My boy said, I really don't care who starts. I just want everybody to compete and have a competition. Nobody should be handed a job. Bro, first of all, it's Kubiak's team, so he can start whoever he wants to for whatever reason he wants to. If he really feels like he got the best chance with this person, then that's who we should roll with. Just like I don't think AOC is better than Gardner Minshew, but if AP goes out there and say, "Hey, man, I want AOC, and I want to attach my name to him instead of Gardner Minshew because I like the way AOC start," I'm running with that. Just no different than when AOC took over for Garoppolo. I was happy that I never liked Garoppolo to begin with. Like, I didn't want him to play no games with the Raider. I would rather see AOC play than Garoppolo. I wasn't mad because I think Garoppolo was a better quarterback. Garoppolo had the better history and all that. I just knew we had Devontae Adams and Garoppolo can't throw past 20, 25 yards. So I know that just wasn't going to work for yeah. I knew that was going to piss him off. That's why he said he wanted AOC because at least AOC can throw the ball and he accurate. So he can start whoever he wants. It's not like oh, because he's saying the best player is gonna play. It just so happened the best player is the same person that he wants to start. I don't understand why we just don't see that Cousins is the better player. Because overall, Cousins won 4 games in a row. Has AOC ever won 4 games in a row? He only got 5 wins, I think. Oh, he got 7 wins. I think he's 7-10. He won 5 the first year, 2 the second year, went 2-7 the following year, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No, he went 2-5. I think he went 2-5 the second year. Come on, man. I'm not saying you're in your emotions. I'm saying fans should not be in their emotions. Fans, people that people that think people that just want to put somebody there because they feel like it. Or you feel or it could apply to you because you feel like that they're giving them the job. And when he clearly is saying, this is the better person right now. This is the person I believe is the best player right now. When he's clearly saying that. But then when we feel like another player is better and we're not basing it on anything, that's feelings. But I wasn't talking to you directly. I'm just talking about anybody that does that. If it apply, it applies. It even apply to me. If I was like I like Kirk Cousins better than I like AOC or Mendoza, and I don't have nothing to back it up. I'm talking from a place of feelings. And it's okay to do that. It's okay to do that. I'm not saying it's wrong. It's on it. Ain't nothing wrong with that. It's your opinion. Hey, if it's your opinion, who am I to argue your opinion? But opinions can be wrong. My opinion can be wrong. That's all I'm saying. For Garoppolo is funny. I don't know if ALC will play, but if he does play, I do know that he will be prepared and effective. Yes. Kirk Cousins is our guy right now. Yes. Yes. Well, bro, you do gotta admit, some of y'all are in y'all feelings, which is fine because I've had discussions with people, and then when it's been deduced, they was like, "Well, I just don't like Kirk Cousins," I'll instantly be like, "Oh, hey, that's how you feel. That's your opinion." But if you're gonna sit there and tell me this guy is better than this guy, and I say, "What are you basing that on?" and you can't tell me nothing other than how you feel, then yes, I'm gonna deduce that you're basing it off your feelings and your emotions. If you can't tell me, well, this guy is better because he wins or the team rallies around him or something that has some logic behind it. I mean, because as men, you prioritize logic over emotion. I'm not saying you should be void of emotion. I'm just saying you're not supposed to put your emotions ahead of your logic. That's all I'm saying. And if you emotionally feel like you want this guy to play and you emotionally feel like that this person is better, then just, just own it. And I'll shut up. But if you're going to tell me that this guy is better and you're not basing it on nothing, or you basing it on some fallacy, then I'm going to be like, well, that just don't logically make sense to me. It's like it just don't logically make sense to me that you have a quarterback on the roster already, and you think that that quarterback is better than the quarterback you went out and got yourself to add to the roster. Like that doesn't make sense. Logically, that just doesn't make sense. I have a quarterback that could start. But instead, I go get another quarterback and bring him in. And then not only that, I go draft the quarterback. So I just brought in two quarterbacks, but I have a starter here, though. That just doesn't make sense. And then when you say, well, I feel like that this person should be starting over these two guys, and I'm like, that's not based in logic. Because if it was, either Kubiak is just not using his brain, because why would you logically go get two other quarterbacks when you got a starter, or at least one other quarterback like Kirk Cousins? Why would you do that? Because you could have AOC start until Mendoza was ready. Logically, you could have did that. But when you bring in another quarterback, that tells me that AOC is not where people feel like he is. I'm sorry. This is not based on me. It's based on what's in the building. Okay. My opinion has nothing to do with emotions. It's my belief. Belief. It's not based on feelings. It's based on your belief. Okay, so what are you basing your belief on? What are you basing your belief on? Clint likes Kirk. Why does he like Kirk? Why does he like him? Is it because he give him a better chance to win? Or you think because they're both Christians, since they're both Christians and they read the Bible together, then he likes them more than AOC? Because if that was the logic, then how would that work with Fernando? He Christian too. Like, what is this? What do you mean by he likes him? Like, What are you basing your belief system on? And I truly want to know. Webb says, it doesn't matter who I like. It didn't even matter who Mr. Davis liked. It has always been about who can play. This is the difference between the Raiders and the other 31 teams. I agree. This has never been about who I liked either. I like Mendoza, honestly. I would like if in like all things being equal, if we talking about who I like, and that's based on feelings to me, but I can base it on some logic too, though. But it's gonna be primarily my feelings. This is me. I ain't saying you. I'm talking about me. I like Mendoza and Kirk only because Kirk is on his way out the door, and then I like AOC. I like Kirk because of how his career has played out. Like he's always been kind of got hated on, and he's always rose to the top. It's like he played with this chip on his shoulder. He plays like people say things about him, and they have this ideology about him, and then he usurps that. Where do you think you like that came from? You like that? Like y'all didn't expect that. You like that? Now, as far as me, now when I start using my logic, okay, Kirk, he's went to the playoffs, but he only won one playoff. Hasn't beat the Chiefs. Um, so he might not. I don't know. My jury would be still out on him. But now but Mendoza, he got a fresh slate. He got a chance to forge his own way now. I like that more than anything. And I like how he play. I like the grit that he play with. I like how his attention to detail. I like how he go about playing quarterback. I like how he present himself as a quarterback. And I love the fact that he's Christian, a follower of Christ. So if I was going off what I like Mendoza. But y'all think I love Kirk Cousins. AOC is a Christian. Yeah, that's cool too. So that's even better. It's even better. I just know that two of those guys, or three of those guys out of the four, I've heard profess it. I just haven't heard him say that. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of Christians in that locker room. There could be some agnostics in that locker room. They just haven't said it. I don't know. I didn't know that. Thanks for sharing that with me. But that doesn't take away from the point that I was making. Like, oh, does he like him because of these things, these outside factors outside of football? No, I don't think that's why he chose cousin Kirk was because of those factors. I think because he saw that, okay, I brought him into OTAs. He still can throw the ball with velocity. That's one thing you can see in OTAs. The velocity of the ball. Is he losing it in his arm? Is he coming in to be a leader? Because he wasn't here last year. So is the team gravitating to him? Is he likable? Like you can tell all those things. And if all those things apply, then let it fly. Kirk already knows the system and has had success in this league. Okay. So he's Catholic. Okay. So now we're about to start splitting hairs now. Okay. All right, you got it. You got it. You got it. You right. You right. You got it. You got that. Believe me, if Cousins washes out, Kubiak will be the first to know. And you could bet your butt that Kirk he will land on the bench. Winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. Oh, wait a minute. Who's the dang it. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. Raiders first down. You're the sponsor of the show. I forgot. I'm sorry. Let me change that. I'm not gonna be on here extra long, but I gotta give you your props. My bad, bro. Hold on. Sorry, I gotta get used to this. I'm new to this. I'm a rookie. And it would be crazy if I think I can usurp all the guys that's been doing this for 8, 9, 10 years, unless you just garbage. Greatest First Down is the sponsor of the show. Thank you, sir, for the super chinat. He had 5 on it. And Rebel, don't get it twisted, Rebel. I appreciate you, bro. I really do. I really do appreciate you. I love the fact that you stand on your square. And you think I love AOC. No, I think you delusioned about him. I don't think you necessarily love him. I just think you delusioned about him. I mean, you literally said he was better than Joe Montana. And you compared him to Hall of Famers. Like you literally compare a backup quarterback that haven't played a whole year, one season yet, to players that's Hall of Famers and greats and been through the trial and fire and all of that, and you're comparing AOC to those guys. So I don't know if that's love. That's more like delusion. Love is being aware of a person's shortcomings, and you say it's okay. I can overlook those things, and you know that you're doing that. Delusion is thinking that this person is something that they're not. So I don't think you love them. I just think you're delusioned about them, honestly, and that's fine because as a fan, you have that right. But when you start arguing facts, then I don't know how that's going to hold up because I still yet to figure out how AOC is in the same breath of those guys. I don't even necessarily think you love them because I've heard you even use some of the things that I've told you, and you argued somebody else about Kirk Cousins, about the things that I told you when me and you first debated or first had a conversation. I've seen it, and you can't say you haven't. I love you for it because that tells me that at least you're being objective to some degree. But I know you literally took some of the things that I've said and you curated some of your talking points to it, which I have no problem with that. I don't. So don't take that the wrong way. So I don't think that you're overly in love with AOC. I don't. What are you saying, my guy? What do you mean, what am I saying? What do you mean, what am I saying? Mendoza got a good throwing arm too. Yeah, but he's trying to see if Kirk Cousins has lost velocity on his passes. That's what you can find out in OTAs. Maybe I'm looking at that wrong. So my opinion, Raider First Down says, so my opinion is Klint already notes on AOC prior to draft from the time in NOLA, Minnesota. These coaches he knows. Right. And I was saying that too though. I was saying I said that you don't think that he know about AOC? You think he came in and decided to bring in another quarterback without knowing about the quarterback that he already had? I don't think that's the case. I think Kubiak is smarter than that. See what happens when a podcaster starts before he is ready? Right. Right. That's why I say I'm a rookie. We in training camp right now, so it ain't the season yet. Now, had this been the season and I wasn't prepared, then that'd be the knock on me for sure. They'd be like, "Oh, he got this and he got that. He just needs to work on this." It's gonna be a list of things I need to work on. So I need to tune those things up while I'm in camp. I love you. I love it, Webb. I love you, bro, because you keep it 1,000 wow. I really appreciate you. He said, so you're saying you respect my opinion, but you're saying I'm delusional about my opinion. How does that make sense? I respect that you're so passionate about your delusion. I respect that. You can have respect for your opinion and not agree with it. I can respect you as a man, which I do. I respect you as a man, whether you right or wrong. It's not personal for me. I respect you. I respect that you put in the work that you do. You don't think I see some of the content that you make and I say, you know what? Rebel out there getting it. I started this stream talking about the rebel militia. Peep that you ain't been on my, I haven't been in my chat that I know of. You haven't been in the chat. You might have watched the show. I don't know. But I've noticed that. I don't know what the reason is. I could speculate what the reason is, but I still respect you. Because had I not respected you, I could have ignored all these messages that you've been putting in the chat. I respect what you got to say. I continually tell you that. I'm just gonna give you some pushback. That's all. And I invite the pushback. I think that's what makes it fun. That's why I'm making Fight or Flight Club. Now the question is, are y'all gonna pull up to that? It's gonna be structured. It's not gonna be ghetto. One of the rules is gonna be like no ad hominem attacks, no attacking the person. It's not gonna be ghetto. It's not gonna be hood. It's gonna be structured. I want you guys to pull up to the Fight or Flight Club. So we're gonna have a topic. We're gonna have a panel of people. It could be 5, 6, 7, 4, 5, whatever. And then if it gets to a point where the crowd wants to see two people go at it, then we'll drop everybody down and they'll go at it for a specified amount of time. That's why I'd rather do it in that form than how we're doing it right now, because it's almost like I'm arguing with you or I'm arguing with the chat. I'm just engaging with the chat right now. But I'd rather do it in another different form because I don't want you to, because I'd rather you I'd rather you was on the live right now talking to me instead of through the chat. But I respect you as a man. I respect your opinion. That don't mean I have to agree with it. I think it's a little delusion, yes. Because you've yet to tell me how AOC is in the same breath as Joe Montana. And if 10 people heard what you're going to tell me, and I'm pretty sure 7 or 8 of them going to be like, I don't know about that, bro. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I could be. Wait, what? I pull up, bro. Pull me up. Send me the link. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. He said, wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, what? Pull me up, bro. Pull me up. Send me the link. Okay, okay, okay. I got you. I got you, brother. I got you, brother. I got you, brother. There you go, brother. There you go. Man, make sure y'all hit the like button, bro, for my brother that's coming up. Hit the like button. We in overtime right now. We in OT. Cause I gotta do a show tonight with the Good Raider. It's gonna be a couple hours from now though, but pull up. Pull up on me. Pull up on me. Let's see. I wonder if the I wonder if let me see something. See if my internet is back, y'all. Pull up on me. Okay, cool. I have to use my hotspot. I told y'all, the grind is real. I was on the hotspot doing the show. Shout out to the hotspot. Here comes Here comes confidence. Yeah. Hey, so what was y'all thoughts about the presser today? What was y'all main takeaways from the presser today? Because y'all should have known what I was going to take away from it. The last 3 minutes that I heard when I first heard the presser was Kirk Cousins QB1. And I've been fighting all of YouTube about that. That's not to say I'm the only one that thought that, because I know that there's others. But I sure was fighting YouTube. A lot of my videos has been saying it, and I wasn't getting views and all that stuff over it. I was losing subscribers over it. Every time I brought up AOC names, I was losing subscribers, but I didn't stop. I tried to be more respectful about how I was going about it, though. I know there's other content creators that was pro AOC and anti Kirk Cousins. Now watch how they change their tune now. And I'm busting you out too. I'm gonna bust you out until you give Kirk Cousins his respect. Don't start. I was telling him in the moment, like when the Raiders start winning games because of Kirk Cousins, not just because of him, but when he's the quarterback, then don't start jocking him because you really didn't believe in him. Rebel,
What's good?
what's good, my brother?
What's
Before we even get started, bro, I want you to know that I got so much love for you and respect for you. So don't mistake my tone
Bro, I
for
wouldn't be watching your
disrespect.
channel. I wouldn't be watching your channel if I didn't respect what you do as well.
Yeah, okay. I just want to get that out the way because as loud as I am, with everything, I want to be loud with that too. You feel me? And
Yeah.
I appreciate you even having the heart to even come up here because a lot of them won't do it.
Oh hell no, you know me better than that shit, bro.
No, I know you will, but I'm just saying it's a lot that won't.
Yeah, yeah.
And which brings me to this question before you get to your point, because I know you want to cook, and I'm gonna let you cook. Were you were here last season? Were you here last season?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you're not a rookie like me, so I'm not. So okay, cool. I can still be rookie of the year because you making it tough for a brother.
Yeah,
So
that's
no,
the
go
that's
ahead,
the
bro.
point. Shit, that's the point.
Although, yeah, like you say, push each other. You supposed to
Yeah,
push them,
bro. Hey, shit ain't
right?
nothing in life comes easy, man. If it does, then it ain't respected, right?
Right, and everybody could do it.
Yeah.
Okay, go. Let me give you a screen so you can cook for a second.
So I
Make
just
sure y'all hit the like button and go subscribe to his channel if you ain't part of the militia.
yeah, subscribe to the channel. What's up, Radio Militia in the building? What's good? What's good? Appreciate y'all. Well, yeah, man. So I just I don't understand how any of us, right? Any of us, even Klint Kubiak or the staff, can say anybody's quarterback won right now. Like I think people are misconstruing what he's saying, right? It said, and he made sure he said tomorrow, right? Tomorrow before he started the sentence. He could have said Klint Kubiak or Kirk Cousins is the starter, right? But he didn't say Kirk Cousins is a starter. He said tomorrow when we come out, Kirk will take first team reps. He's earned that. And yes, his body of work, he's earned that, right? What he's done in shorts and a helmet, I guess he's earned that, right? And he's a veteran. So yes, I mean, nobody's going to come out unless your rookie's just super impressive in shorts and a helmet and say, all right, this is the dude, and everybody's going to get first team reps. He said he'll take the majority of the reps, but he's not pointing him as a starter when the season comes. He's saying he's the guy. He's going to go into the preseason as the starter, and he said he expects both quarterbacks to push him. Yeah, so he's saying he's leaving the door open. He also said the best players will play. So he's leaving the door open to say, I'm not naming a quarterback right now. I'm saying Kirk Cousins is my guy. Everybody in the planet knows that. The media knows that. Mainstream media knows that. Content creation knows that. The fans know that. Everybody knows that Kirk Cousins was brought in. We knew that before he brought him in, that he said in a perfect world, you would have a mature guy to run the fucking system, right? Oh, excuse my language, to run the system. So they brought that in. We already knew they planned on Cousins, but he's not. He's leaving the door open, and just in my opinion, right? And I could be wrong. And it'll show if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. I'll come on here and say I was wrong like I do every other time I'm wrong. But I'm saying, to me, my opinion is it's leaving the door open to saying I want these guys to push Kirk Cousins. And if they do, then there's still a door open that, hey, the best man will win, because he made sure 3 times to say the best players will play. The best players will play. He also said that he's starting tomorrow to take first team reps, but we already knew that. So I don't know why everybody's acting like, oh my God, Kirk Cousins is the starter. Nobody's naming the starter. He also said 3 weeks ago in 2 different interviews that Houston would tell the story of who starts and who doesn't, right? People should know by Houston who the quarterback is. And you have to see these guys. He also said Mendoza and AOC will take first team reps. So if they're out there looking better than Cousins, my point is, if they look better, then they need to get more reps. That's all I'm saying. You want a competition. I don't think anybody in Raider Nation wants to come in and say, all right, Kirk Cousins, before we've even taken a padded practice, is the quarterback starting the season. Nobody wants to hear that, right? We want competition. And that's why he said, I believe these guys behind him will push them. He's trying to say, push Kirk Cousins, push him. And if you're better, or if you make better plays and better decisions on the field when you get your first team reps, then, the sky's the limit, right? The best guy will play. That's all I'm saying. Now, I don't care if it's Aiden O'Connell, Jacob Clark. If Jacob Clark comes out there and he's the best damn quarterback out there, play that young man. Play him right away. I don't care if he's a rookie. Play him. If he's going out in the preseason and showing that I can carve up defenses, even vanilla defenses, and you look good and you're not making mistakes and you can run the offenses, you can change plays, and you can do the things that Kubiak wants in his system, why not play the best player? That's my point. It's not about love for AOC. It's not about AOC. I don't give a shit about AOC. Really, I don't care. As long as the dude is on our team, he's a Raider just like everybody else is a Raider, right? And I just want to see the best player play. I'm tired of these damn coaches coming in and being like, okay, this is my guy. He's going to get first team reps. And then even if he's playing bad and we hear the reports, oh, well, Cousins threw 3 interceptions today like we did with Geno. 3 interceptions today. 2 interceptions today, tomorrow, 3 interceptions the next day, but he's still the starter. Meanwhile, reporters are saying Aiden O'Connell's looking pretty good. He's not turning the ball over. He's making plays. But last year they went with Geno, right? Because that was Pete Carroll's guy. That's my point. I'm tired as a fan for 51 years of this organization watching guys come in and just be put into place and not earning a job. And I'm not saying Kurt hasn't. I've never said that either, because I'm not there. I'm not at practice, so I don't know if he's earned it. But like Klint Kubiak said, you guys will see, just like I will see in the preseason, who the best player is. And I thought that's a point that nobody's clickbaited. Nobody's put that on mainstream media. Nobody's tweeted that. Nobody's done a YouTube, which I was getting ready to go live and do that. But that's going to be my point when I go live today, right? That's going to be my point. Nobody's pointing that out. Nobody's looking at everything he's saying.
Did we lose you? Because that's a good point until you get back. That's a good point and I didn't even bring that up in this video because I know I'm gonna go later, and I do have a couple points that I did not make already that I'm gonna make later. But that's one point I did not make that he said we'll all see in preseason. Let me address that because, well, I don't know if he can hear me or not, but okay. So I'll address that in a minute. So let me address some of the things that he did say. Um, when he said he's not naming the week 1 starter, not yet, which he isn't, and everybody knows that Kirk Cousins was going to be the number 1 guy getting reps, the majority of the reps. I would disagree with that. I think majority of the fans did not think that.
My bad. I didn't hear anything you said. I don't know what happened. YouTube cut me off. They said I'm done with him.
No, well, they cut me off earlier too, so they might be done with both of us. No, I kind of stalled time to address what you were saying, but I did address one of the things. I was just starting. Like I don't think that. I would think that about half of of the Raider content creators They didn't know that Kirk Cousins was going to be the number one quarterback going into camp. And if they did, either they're being disingenuous because of what they're saying on their shows and what they're projecting, or they didn't know. Because I'm surprised that he even mentioned it before we even went into camp. Because the mere fact that the narrative even shifted when like maybe like within the last week or week and a half that people start like some people start coming out saying, Kirk Cousins is gonna be the starter week one. And then there were certain people like Mike Florio and Doug Peterson and all these people coming out saying, it'd be a waste of pick if you don't start Fernando week one and all this. So I'm not too sure that everybody knew that. I'm shocked that Klint even came out this far this early and said it. But I think the reason why he did that is because he's priming us to understand why we're seeing what we're seeing in camp instead of everybody crashing out. Because like I was saying, like when camp comes, it's not going to be, well, this quarterback get the same amount of time as this quarterback so we can see who's the best. That's not what's going to happen. What's going to happen is one's going to get a majority of them. The other one's going to get some, and he's going to compete with maybe AOC and Fernando, and that's not even a competition. That ain't even a competition because Fernando is going to be really the third string quarterback because we're going to try to hold him off as long as possible. So AOC is going to be the second string. So there's really no real competition. But you have to say these things in order for it to land
But
on
there
the
should
fan
be a
base.
competition, though. There should be a competition. Nobody knows who gels well with these guys, right? Nobody knows who this offensive line is going up there and playing harder for. We don't know until they get out there. The offensive line might be like, man, we like Kirk Cousins in the rah shit, but we don't like the way he, the way he runs shit or the way he does shit, or maybe he's a little bit slow on the plays and it's making us look bad. Maybe we want the rookie and we don't know. Maybe people in the building like AOC and they're like, man, let's give this kid his opportunity. Maybe they're tired of seeing people putting in front of him too. We don't know. So you have to see what the players can do in pads, and you have to see what each one of these quarterbacks can do with the first team reps, right? How do they click with the players? How do they gel with the players? How is their communication and their timing and the rhythm with these guys, right? Because 39 years old, man. We don't know. We don't know if he still has that strong arm. I was looking at plays the other day, you know, in Atlanta. Bro, not too many passes, bro. You can go look at his next gen stats. Oh my God, that car sounds bad. Good Lord. You can go look at. Damn, they need to fix it. You can go look at his next gen stats and see that they don't throw the ball over 20 yards. Like they didn't throw the ball over 20 yards, but a couple plays for a reason because he doesn't have that arm anymore. Now, yes, once in a while you get those plays, but can you get those consistently? You have younger guys that have stronger arms, and if they know the system and they gel with the players, and and these players vibe with them, or gel with them, because like Fernando said, right? I gotta earn the respect of the players. I gotta earn their respect so I can be the leader, right? And in camp, we don't know what the other players are thinking. So you have to see what every quarterback can do. You have to see what every receiver in that building can do with the ones also, right? Can they go out there and do better with Kirk Cousins throwing them the ball than they can with Fernando Mendoza throwing them the ball? You have to see, though. That's what camp is for. Unless I'm wrong here. I mean, I might be wrong, but isn't that what
So
camp is for? To see who the best players are with each other, right? The 11 you want the best 11. You want those guys, and I think Kubiak even said that, right? You want the best players that play together. It's not always the best athlete, right? It's not always the best athlete. Sometimes it's the best player, but you want to know how those guys play together. When he was talking about the guard position, so. I feel like the quarterback has to be the same thing. You have to know, hey, are these guys going up and trying harder to catch the ball, for a certain quarterback? Because there are people that do that. There are people that have a agenda to be like, man, I feel like we're better with this quarterback, and I'm not saying people do, but or certain guys will, but we don't know, right? We have to go and put it on the field. And I think that's why Klint Kubiak said the biggest statement of all is you're going to see what I see in the preseason. So it's hard for me to say this ain't the best guy if you're seeing the dude get beat constantly, right? If you're seeing the dude giving up yards, if you're seeing the dude making turnovers, you're seeing him jumping off sides, you're going to see the same thing I am. So he kind of left that door open to, hey, look, I can't just say this guy's the best guy and put him out there. Same thing with Spencer Burford. You know, he made that point with, I believe you got to be able to play multiple positions. Well, looking at that offensive line, I believe there's only one guy on there, two guys, Tyler Linderbaum and Spencer Burford, that can't play multiple positions. Everybody else on that line plays multiple positions. So, you know, I just feel like you gotta have a competition. Why have a camp if you're not competing for a spot and you can't push somebody? You asked the question earlier, how do you push players? You can't push them if you're on the third string doing well, while this guy's on the second, with first team reps, probably going against the second team, because very rarely do they run one-on-ones, just certain practices, because they only get so many padded practices. So more times than not, the number one offense is going against the number two defense. And you can't tell if another quarterback is doing better than the first team quarterback if he's not getting the reps with the same players your starter is. And that goes for every position, the guard position, even the tackle position, the defensive end position with Max Crosby. Not that anybody's going to be better than Max, but you still want to give those guys the reps and the opportunities to be like, okay, man, we can put this guy out here and he can give us some backup reps when we need them, right?
Okay, you raised a lot of good points. So let me address those. So one thing is this, like Mendoza say he has to come in and earn the respect of the players, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that he has to literally start from the bottom because he's a college player, and NFL players know that there's a difference between an NFL player and a college player. And so you're only going to have a certain level of respect, maybe even more than normal when you have a Heisman Trophy winning, undefeated season, national championship. So you might have a level of respect for him than you would a normal rookie coming in.
Yeah.
But when you're comparing that guy to a guy that has 14 years in the league, he commands a certain level of respect because of how he carries himself, because of the way he approaches the game, the way he even shares the game with players. Because I'm pretty sure that he's saying things to these players that they haven't heard before, or things that he's saying that Fernando can't say or back up because he's never been in the position.
Yeah,
So
all
coming
fact.
in, so coming into camp, they're not on even ground. When Fernando talks, it's at a level, and when Kirk Cousins talks, it's at another level. Let me give you a slight example.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Tyler Linderbaum. If Tyler Linderbaum is having a conversation with Kirk Cousins and he's having one with Fernando, and Kirk Cousins is talking football, and so is Fernando, he's going to listen to Kirk Cousins a little bit more than he would Fernando because of the experience.
Yeah.
So now you come into the league, so you come into the team with this level of respect over Fernando. So the only way that doesn't work in his favor is if they do go out there and pass, and what he's saying doesn't translate to success. And so that part can't be debunked until they start playing other teams and really into the regular season, because a couple series in the preseason isn't gonna make or break what he say in the offseason, because they're not playing against number ones. They're playing against number twos, some people threes, some players that ain't even gonna be on the team. So we won't know if they trust Kirk more or Fernando more until the season. Well, you got to see if you can trust Kirk first, and then you'll start looking for Fernando or even maybe AOC at that point. So as far as who do you
I get,
gel with better,
I mean,
you're
to
going to
cut you off,
gel with.
I
Go
get the
ahead.
trust and the experience thing. I'm talking about the athletics part of it, being able to still make those throws, being able to still roll out on time.
Okay, so let me
I get
address
the
that.
experience part. I get
So let
he's
me
a
address that.
I'm
So
sure
let me
everybody
address that part.
that as
Let me
well.
address that part. So this is a question I'm asking to you. can you or can you not tell what the quarterback velocity in his arm in OTAs?
Yeah, but it's different when you got full pads on and guys come. I mean, you got nobody trying to hit you. I mean, still in practice, but I'm saying when you're going against other teams, when we have an open practice, when we have shit like that, I want Kirk Cousins to be out there at least a little bit to see what he has. Like I
He'll
can't
be
have
out
this
there.
dude come out and play 2 or 3 plays like a lot of people are saying. Oh, he's going to come out and take 2 or 3 snaps and then go
Series.
sit down on the bench. That's not going to tell me nothing, especially if
I'm
those
saying
two
series.
or 3 plays are 10-yard throws. Like you don't know what this dude has. Like when it's a different ball game when there's bullets flying. You have pads on and somebody can hit you, right? It's a totally different story than standing back there and being like, all right, I got all day, because no matter if they do the pass rush is coming, they still can't touch me. I'm gonna still make the throw, even if it's a little bit late, right? So it messes up the rhythm, it messes up everything, and you have to see in live bullets. That's what opening practice and preseason is for. Like that's what I'm saying. You have to see. I know you said that you're probably not going to see Kirk Cousins until maybe the last game or a little bit, right?
No,
Or, a couple snaps here and there, and then go sit
no,
down and probably AOC and Fernando. Like,
no. I said a couple series. I'm not saying a couple plays, a couple series. Like 2 series. And that ain't even enough to really tell nothing. That's just to make sure you don't get rusty or anything like that.
yeah, 2 series. I mean, that could be like half a first quarter if the defense plays well. You know what I mean? They can go 3 and out.
It could.
Yeah,
It
so
could
like,
mean that. But could you also agree that the throws that Fernando make in college aren't the same as the throws he'll make in the pros? Could you
yeah,
agree with that?
actually, absolutely. But that's why we need to see him at least go out there and start one of these preseason games,
He
or
probably will.
at least play in the first quarter or the second quarter with the
He
ones to
will.
say, is he ready for this pressure? If he has to be thrown in there, right? If he has to be thrown in there, not because it's not if he plays, it's when he plays. We all know that.
Could
It's
you
not
agree?
if, it's when. It could be this year or next year. So yeah, but we have to see each quarterback. And I know Jacob Clark, I guess you don't have to start taking reps with the ones unless you're out there showing something, but more than likely he's the practice squad guy, right? They're going to develop this young man. He was a UDFA, but for the other 3 in the building, you want to see what they can do against other teams and not going up, first team reps against your second team defense. You want to see what they can do against starters. And the only way to do that is in the first quarter, because in preseason, everybody takes their starters out before the first
Or
quarter
they
is
don't
over.
play at all. Or they don't play at
Or they
all.
don't play at all. If it's a team like the 49ers, they no reason to throw them out there, right? They are the
Could
Rams.
you could you agree that preseason is drastically different than regular season?
Well, yeah,
And I'm
because
using the word
yeah,
drastically.
drastically, because you're running vanilla defenses. You're not going out there and showing teams what you're trying to run during the regular season. You're just trying to run defenses to see, can this guy get to the quarterback? Can this guy make tackles? And you're calling, a lot of vanilla shit, but a lot of it's a lot of pressure. You're sending pressures just to see, put pressure on these young guys and see which guys can get to the quarterback. Because why are you out there if you're running a bunch of zone? You can run zone in practice all day long and teach these guys. You need to know, can they win their one-on-one matchups? Can they beat double teams? Can they get to the quarterback? Can they block? And the only way to do that is in preseason. Like, so yeah, it's drastically different, but it's still like it's a need, right? You're not going to go face defenses in preseason where they're disguising every single play, right? You're not going to have to worry about when I roll out of my play action or my bootleg and I turn around that the defense is in a total another look, right? You're not going to see that in the preseason, but you're still going to see teams try to get to the quarterback and guys having pressure in their face and how they respond, right? Didn't Klint Kubiak say today he wants to see how this young man responds when he makes interceptions, when he turns the ball over, right? How does he act? How does he go on the next play? So those are things that need to be seen, and you have to get those with the first team, I feel like.
Yeah, but even if you do get those reps with those guys, right? It's still not indicative of you being better than the person that can already do these things that you're looking for out of this guy. Like Kirk Cousins can do it. And the reason why you can know that is because, okay, when it comes to the velocity, trust me, throwing the ball in pads and throwing it without pads ain't like 10 degrees of separation. It's not. It
Yeah.
really ain't. It's not. Like you could tell if a guy got zip or velocity on his throws in OTAs. Like you could
But
tell if
we
Kirk
seen.
Cousins.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
But we seen Kirk do that 3 years ago, though. We haven't seen him do that in the last 2 or 3 years. That's my whole point.
What do you mean? Wait. Haven't seen him do
We
what?
seen him play at a high level 3 years ago. 2 years
Whoa,
ago,
whoa, 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 whoa.
2 years ago, he threw 18 touchdowns and 16 interceptions, and last year he was 10-5 and only played 7 games. So we haven't seen him come off the
And he
injury
went 5-2. And he
to
went
know that
5-2.
yeah, but look at the team he had around him.
Oh, now
He don't have that on
Atlanta's
the
not
Raiders.
that good, bro. Atlanta's not that good, bro. Don't make it seem like Atlanta is that good. They have good players on
They
their
have
team,
Drake
just like
London, they
Arizona.
had Kyle
Arizona's
Pitts,
got
they
good
had
players on their
Bijan
team too.
Robinson. They had Bijan Robinson, and they had the 4th ranked offensive line in the NFL.
Okay, but
That's a
how
lot
did that
different.
translate
That's
to
a lot
wins?
different than going to a team that had the 31st or 32nd ranked offensive line in the NFL. You're trying to fix.
Yeah, but the Raiders are not. Their O line is not 32nd right now. They're that on paper, but you know
That's what
they're
they
not
should
the
have
worst
us
O
rank them
line.
at.
You know they're not the worst O line in the league right now.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, I know that. You know that. And the Raider Nation knows that. Depending on who they play, I mean, I feel like if they go with certain people, then we could have the same problem we've been having. I don't know.
so the thing is this: we saw Kirk Cousins play at a high level last year. Like last year, like he won
I don't know
he
about a
won
high
5 games.
level.
He won 5 games, and he only started half a season. I think he really went 5-3, not 5-2. I think he went 5-3. But with that even being said, he won 4 games in a row. Do you know the last time the Raiders won 4 games in a
Yeah,
row
but his
with
running
any
back had 100.
quarterback?
His running back had 180 scrimmage yards a game. I'm just not. I don't know that, but somewhere up there, like I don't know.
No, it's not like Kirk Cousins was out there throwing 1 touchdown and no interception. He was throwing 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions.
Yeah, but did
I
you
mean,
look
like
at
he definitely was
you look at
playing.
the did you look at the offense though? It wasn't a lot of play action and rollouts. I mean, it was, but not at the high extent as Kubiak is going to do it. This is my whole point. Like, can he still, coming off that injury, be on time and on rhythm? Because a lot of Kubiak's offense is timing and rhythm plays. They're short passes, run, throw the ball downfield, right? But it's timing and rhythm. And a lot of those play actions are rhythm. You have to know. That's why Mendoza keeps preaching, I got to work on my foot count. I got to know my second step when I'm rolling out, how many steps I'm taking, the timing and rhythm of the play. And I just don't know at 30. This is my biggest question. Like, I know everything Kirk Cousins done. And you said earlier, I seen you talk about shit that I talked about. I talked about that before. Kirk Cousins has thrown for over 4,000 yards a game. But my point has been my point has been he's 39 years old now. The last time he threw for 4,000 yards was 3 years ago, right? That's a difference.
No, you guys are saying 3 years ago. Stop saying that. It ain't been 3 years. Okay, let's say it's been 3
2020,
years. Let's
2000.
say it's been 3. It's been 2 seasons. He played 2 seasons with Arizona,
He
right?
played half a season,
I mean,
tore
not
his
Arizona.
Achilles.
He played.
Half the season tore his Achilles, and then missed the rest of the season, the whole off season, and then
Oh yeah, so it's been.
he played the whole season and didn't look great.
So it's been 3 seasons. You're right. It's been a total of 3 seasons. So because he didn't finish the first season that we're talking about because he got injured. Then he went to Atlanta, and he got taken out for whatever the reason. You can say because of whatever the reason. They didn't want him to play for whatever the reason
He got
was.
benched.
And then he didn't play. He got benched for whatever the reason is. Because you can't say it's because the Penix was better, but maybe he played better at that moment. So I'll give it that. But what I do know is Penix didn't keep the starting job. You want to know why? Because he was injured. Just like Kirk Cousins got injured. So their line or whatever we're talking about ain't that good because both of their quarterbacks got injured. But regardless of all that, what we do know is that if he was to play a full season, he's still playing at the same level that he normally plays at. Yes, he had a outlier season where he had 18 touchdowns and 16 interceptions, but that's not his norm. That's not even nowhere near his
That's the
norm.
norm coming off the injury.
Okay, so he had one season like that out of all his seasons, and now we're going to grade him on that one season like that?
But that's
But
what
then
that's
he,
that's the
but then he
I'm
also
not
played
putting it in
after
stone
that.
though.
But
You're
wait a
acting like I'm
minute.
putting it in stone. I'm just saying that's the question I have. That's a question that I need to see in
So,
preseason, and I can't
so,
see
but
that
wait a
in a
minute.
series or two.
But he's played after that, and then when he played after that, he went 2 touchdowns to 1 interception.
And I've
So,
watched
so
those
why?
games.
So,
He's
so,
throwing the
so,
ball 20 times a game, and he's handing it off 50 times a game. Like, yeah, they won. You can look at the
okay.
record, but look at the stats. Look at the stats and the numbers he's put up. That's what I'm saying.
So, what stat matters, the wins or the
The
throwing
wins matter.
yards?
Yeah, the wins matter. But does he have that team he had does he have that team with us that he had in Atlanta? There's a lot of good
Who's a
players
better
in there.
team right now,
Their
Atlanta or the
defense is better
Raiders?
than us. Their defense
Who,
has been
who's
better
who's
than
who's
ours.
who's a better team right now, Atlanta or the Raiders?
Right now, Atlanta, obviously.
Wow, they don't even have a quarterback.
They're winning games.
They don't even have
I mean,
yeah, the games that they won, who was the quarterback?
it was Penix and
No,
Kirk
no.
Cousins.
Penix had a losing record with them last
Yeah, he's
year.
what, 4-6 or some shit.
Yeah, he had a losing record last
But
year. So
four and
they ain't
six,
winning because of
10-5,
him.
yeah, yeah.
It wasn't
So
winning
yeah,
because of him. They was
yeah.
winning because of Kirk Cousins. And I would say the reason why Atlanta is not better than the Raiders today is because they don't even know who their starting quarterback is because Penix is hurt. They bringing in
Penix is
concussion
out there.
prone.
He been out there in
He,
camp too, right?
he ain't been in camp. He ain't been practicing in camp.
Oh, I thought he's been out. They've been
He ain't been
talking about
practicing in camp.
camp battles
And,
on ESPN.
yeah, they're talking about it at a camp battle, but it shouldn't be a camp battle. Kirk Cousins is gone. Why is there a camp battle? Because the
No, I'm
person
talking
he
about
was
for Atlanta.
battling with,
We were
the
talking
person
about
he was, huh?
we were talking about Atlanta. You said
No,
Atlanta.
I know. What I'm saying is Kirk Cousins is no longer with Atlanta, so Penix should have nobody to threaten him for his position. But the reason why there is because he was injured, and now he's in a camp battle with Tua. Tua he's probably like he's really on his last leg. So they don't even have a quarterback. Not only that, they lost their coach, they lost their GM. You want to know why? Because they mismanaged this whole Kirk Cousins situation. Because Kirk Cousins was the better quarterback, but instead, what they wanted to do is try to bring in Penix because they thought he was younger and he was going to be better because he's younger, so he has a higher ceiling. But
Yeah.
it didn't play out like that at all. It didn't never play out like that. So they end up losing the quarterback that was winning games for them. They lost their coach, they lost the GM, and now they're back to ground zero again with a running back that is all world. He's that guy. Don't get me wrong, but I don't. They're not that good. They're not. They just got good players on their team. No different than Arizona. They got McBride, that tight end. That he played like Brock Bowers last year. Like, but
McBride.
they're still a garbage team.
McBride's in Arizona.
That's what I'm saying. Arizona, they're garbage.
Oh.
They're
Well,
garbage. But he was on that team and he was good. He was great. So I'm just saying, you can have good players or great players on your team, but if it doesn't equate to wins, then what good is it? I mean, like you're a good player on the team, but is the team good because you're on the field?
So if Kirk Cousins was so good, why did Atlanta decide let's move on from Kirk Cousins that went 5-2 and thrown 10 touchdowns and 5 interceptions, and let's move on from him and bring in Tua Tagovailoa with three concussion history that could be one hit away from never playing again, and let's bring him in and just to be the backup to Penix? Like I don't.
They brought him
Obviously,
in to
somebody
start.
in Atlanta knew something and was like, "Bro, let's get rid of Kirk Cousins.
No,
let's move on from
what do you
that."
mean get rid of him? He left. He was a free agent.
Yeah, but they could have signed him back. That's what I'm saying. Why not? Why not
You
sign him
think
back
he
if
was
he's
going to
that good?
resign there?
Why let
He
him leave
wasn't
the
going to
building?
resign there.
If he's 5-2, why let him leave the building?
No, he wasn't going to resign there because of how they did him. They brought him in to be the starter, and then they went and drafted a quarterback like right behind him. And
Raiders
then
did the
not only
same
did,
thing.
and then not only did they draft him right behind him, they played him.
We
And
just
then
did
when
the
they
same
played
thing.
him, huh?
We just did the same thing. We just told them that we were getting a quarterback.
Yeah, there's a big difference. There's a big difference in that. And they also said the best player will play, but they all know who the best player is though already. Just because to us it sounds like it's fair, they already know who the best quarterback is out of the two. Fernando knows that.
I don't
You
agree
you
with
not
the most experience.
not once have you heard Fernando say, I'm going to compete for the number one position. You've always heard Fernando say, I'm starting from the bottom because he knows that's where he is.
He's humble. He knows.
No, because he not only is he humble, he's living in reality because he knows he's not. He's not. He doesn't have more cachet than AOC. I wouldn't start him over AOC. I wouldn't. But unless I went into camp and I saw them two play and I saw that they were comparable, and if they were comparable, because my only knock on AOC is that he gets injured. I don't have any,
Every quarterback gets injured. Joe Burrow been injured every year. He the best
bro.
quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, but Joe Burrow and AOC is not the same guy.
I'm not
sorry.
comparing them. I know you're gonna say just like I compared him to Joe Montana. There was no comparison. You just take it. You
Like
take
they're
shit
not
too
the
literally.
same guy.
You take shit too literally. The injury history
I didn't
Joe
take
Burrow.
that literally. I didn't
Joe
take that
Burrow's
literally
injury
because
history is he's injured every single year.
I didn't take that literally. I asked you, what I asked you was how could you compare the two? Because I never heard that the comparison that you made there. People came to me and was saying that you were saying that, and I was like, well, I need to hear how you can even compare them. But what I did hear you say though is you compared them to other Hall of Fame quarterbacks, and I'm like, you can't compare them to because this guy haven't even played one season.
See, what
One season, one full season yet, and you're
what you
comparing them
heard
to
was
Hall of
wrong.
Famers.
I said Kirk Cousins' career stats were better than Joe Montana's.
No, I'm
I
talking about
said
Aiden
that.
O'Connell.
No, you can go back and watch the live, dude. Don't tell me what I
You
said.
could be right. I didn't say you said something different. I said I'm talking about Aiden O'Connell. You compare Aiden O'Connell
I didn't
to Hall
compare
of
Aiden
Famers.
O'Connell to Joe Montana.
No, I didn't. Well, okay. I asked a question about that. I never said you said anything about that.
You said somebody. You just said somebody came to you.
I said
You just
I
said
heard.
somebody came to you and said, I said Aiden
Let me tell you
O'Connell
what
was
I
better than
said. Let
Joe
me tell you what I
Montana.
said. What I said was I heard you compare Aiden O'Connell to Joe Montana. Now that could have been wrong, right? But that's why I said I'm asking about that. But what I do know I
I didn't
heard you
hear that.
say,
I didn't hear
what
that.
I
I heard
did hear you say,
somebody.
and it could have been, it very well could have been you compared Kirk Cousins to him. Okay, fine. We could throw that out because I really don't care about that. But what I did hear you say is you compared Aiden O'Connell to Hall of Famers. And I'm saying you can't compare the two because Aiden O'Connell
What
hasn't
Hall
even
of Famer did I compare him to, though? That's what I want to know.
you had a list of Hall of Famers quarterbacks, and you put him in the list with them guys with his stats. Compare it to those guys. I know you did that for sure. I
Find me
can't even
alive.
find that.
I don't know. If you can
I'm
find
sure
it,
I
coach,
can
send it
find
to
that.
me. I don't know. But I don't remember comparing him to any. I might have compared his stats or his numbers his rookie season.
Yes, that's what we're talking
His
about.
rookie season, yeah.
Yes, and I'm saying you can't compare the two
So I
because
can't
Aiden
I can't
O'Connell has never
compare
even played a full season. You comparing
that.
him against
That's
guys that's
why
played multiple full seasons.
that's why I made sure to say in a 17-game span. In a 17-game span, not his rookie
No,
season, in his 17 games, if he was to play whatever
you can't do that.
from whatever season to start the next season and played that long. But I'm saying in his 17 games compared to the first 17 games, whether that player played at the middle of the season and into the next season, or started at week 3 and 17 games ended up being 4 games into the following season, that was the comparison. It was in a 17-game span. Their numbers, their completion ratio, their quarterback rating, their interceptions, and their touchdowns.
So
Never
you're
did I say he
comparing.
was better than them. I said the stats
Yeah.
from those
Okay.
games, that body of work was comparable to the players that I put up there. I
And
don't
I'm
see what the
saying,
problem. I'm saying, what do you mean I
I'm
can't do
telling you
that?
what the problem is. The problem is you're patching together a player 3-year resume to a quarterback that is a perennial starter, regardless if his first 17 games was his first season was 7 games, and then the second season he started the whole season and play, and you took his first 17 games and you want to compare him to AOC's 17 games. And what I'm saying is you can't just stack stats on top of each other like that because it's convenient, because it's 17 and 17. My issue is this: you can't compare a guy that has not yet played a full season yet. I'm talking about in one season. Like one season, can you play a full season? Because I'm not going to sit there and be like, well, over a course of 3 years, you started one season. Like, because he legit only
A lot of
started
those guys on the list didn't play full seasons. They were injured and missed games. You know, a lot
the
of
first
them.
year.
A lot
Yeah,
of them.
maybe the first year, but it
Yeah,
didn't take them 3 years
but
to get 17
but
starts.
you can't put that on a quarterback though. That's the body of work he has. That's why I made sure to say their body of work. Their body of work, which is their games played in that span, 17 compared to 17. Now, whether they were all starts, which to your talk, I believe, and tell me I'm wrong, you're the quarterback here, right? You don't think that if you would have played, Aiden O'Connell would have played those 17 games back to back to back to back consistently, that his numbers would be better than playing 6 games here, one game here, 2 games here, 1 game here, not playing for a year and a half and then playing 1 game? Like, you don't
I
think
wouldn't
you don't think
I
that
wouldn't
a
compare them.
quarterback would get in a rhythm and be more consistent and get
No,
better in the offense and get better
no.
with the in the strategy if he got to
No,
play
so
those games?
no, because you want to know why?
Oh my God.
Because for one, whenever you let a player play for a full season, the NFL are trying to catch up with you every week. Now, if the NFL tries to catch up with you every week and they catch up with you in week 5, and then you come back next year and then they catch up with you in week 3, and then the year after that they catch up with you in week 9 or 10. No, bro, like that's different than trying to catch up with a player in 1 year or a year and a half, or it's not the same. You can't just say, well, these 17 games is equivalent to these 17 games. No, what you do is you see a guy that has never played a full season yet. We're comparing a guy that hasn't played a full season
Yeah,
yet.
to guys that had a coach for the same season after season after season. A kid that's had 7 different fucking offensive coordinators and 3 different coaches. Like, yeah, I know you can't compare it. There's no comparison because he doesn't have the consistency in the same system to show that he can get better, that he can develop, that he could become a better player because of the organization he's in right now. You can't make this pair. Well, if he was in this organization, he would have been better. I'm just saying, in the 17 games he's played, he has damn good numbers. Now, those numbers, in my opinion, again, my opinion, would be better if those 17 games were consistently, but unpopular to the Raiders, to the Raiders brass and the way they do shit and changing a new head coach every single year. How can you expect a guy to get developed and get better? I'm saying for what he has done in a new system every single year with new players, new offensive line, new coaches, new strategy, 2 different offensive coordinators every single season since he's been in the league. He's had 2 offensive coordinators every year. This is my point.
Hey,
And my whole
hey,
point, and the thing everybody says, the love for Aiden O'Connell, the whole thing that started with Aiden O'Connell for me was you had a kid in the building his rookie year that won a bunch of games, that gave us a chance and gave Raider Nation hopes that, oh shit, we are that close. We might be able to make a wild card. We didn't make it. We didn't get the draft pick everybody wanted, but we had a kid in the building making $1.4 million. And if the Raiders would have just been smart then and see what they had in this young man and built
hey,
around him, listen, let me finish, please. Built around him, right? Built around him. And then 2-3 years down the road, when the team is built, because you have a cheap quarterback in the building that can win you games, that showed he can win games, that shows 6-1 when you have a 100-yard rushing game. This has been my whole point the whole time. Rebuild. You have a cheap quarterback in the building. You don't bring in a guy and pay him $24 million like they did Mendoza or like they did Minshew for 2 years when you had a quarterback that could have ran the system. He showed it his rookie year. Why move on from him? The Raiders had the perfect opportunity to build around a quarterback. Build around a quarterback. Go get your offensive line. Go get your receivers. Build your defense for the next year or two. And then they could have drafted Mendoza this year and said, okay, Aiden O'Connell's not the guy. He hasn't showed he's the guy. He's won us some games. He's had his opportunity, a fair opportunity, why the Raiders are building around this young man. And then if he's not the guy, then you draft Mendoza this year. But this year we would have been bringing Mendoza into a team that had been developing for the last 3 years behind a $1.4 million quarterback. I don't see how people do not understand this. I don't see why this is the problem. I don't see why everybody's like, oh, okay, we got this quarterback, but he's not ready because the team's not ready. But the team could have been ready. The whole point is you wasted $24 million on Gardner Minshew. You could have played Aiden O'Connell, and you could have spent that $24 million on bringing in another receiver when Devontae Adams left. You could have brought in better offensive linemen. You could have brought in better defensive players, right? The following year, you waste a third-round pick for Geno Smith when you have Aiden O'Connell in the building making $1.4 million. You trade a third-round pick for Geno, and you pay him $71 million, $32 million a season for 18 touchdowns, 19 touchdowns, and 18 interceptions. You know what the Raiders could have did with that $31 million? I don't see how people don't grasp my point. It's not a love for Aiden O'Connell. It's a fucking love for this franchise, bro. It's a love for this organization. They wasted an opportunity. And now you got a rookie that you went and got first round, and a lot of people believe you're wasting a whole year opportunity if you go with Kirk Cousins because you have a guy on the cheap. Yes, you have Kirk Cousins on the cheap, so I get it this year. Well, there's people already saying, well, if Kirk Cousins takes us to a playoff, put him in next year. Then what the hell did we draft a quarterback for, right? My whole point with the Aiden O'Connell, it's not a love for Aiden O'Connell. It's never been an Aiden O'Connell infatuation. It's been a fact that the Raiders had the perfect opportunity. You had a kid that if you give him the right pieces and the system that he had with Bo Hardigree, who had never called plays in his life, Bo Hardigree made Aiden O'Connell win games, 5-4 his rookie year, with a dude that had never been an offensive coordinator in his life. So why couldn't the Raiders go out and get a real offensive coordinator, roll with Aiden O'Connell, spend the money they wasted on quarterbacks the last 2 years, and build this team? And then if Aiden O'Connell wasn't that guy, we would all know, and there would be no argument right now. And then you would have Fernando Mendoza, the first overall pick, coming into a team that we developed the last 2 years and didn't waste money on quarterbacks that didn't do shit.
Okay. So are you done?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I want to make sure you got your points. I have 2 questions for you, and then I have something to say. But I just need a yes or no. Okay. Did Derek Carr have multiple coordinators and all this other stuff? I actually got 3 questions. Did he have multiple coordinators and coaches and all that other stuff? Yes or no?
Well, every year? He's had consistent quarterbacks. He had John Gruden for 3 years? He had what was Del Rio there too? He didn't have 2 a season. He didn't have a new head coach and
I'm
2
not
different
comparing.
offensive coordinators to a
I'm
season.
not
So yes, he
comparing
had
how
some. Yes, he had some.
he's had multiple coaches,
Some,
multiple
yes.
coordinators,
You're look it up on
multiple.
your computer. How many
No,
in his 9
bro,
years?
you know he has. So like I don't even know why we trying to go down this road, but that's fine. Let's just say it's kind of so. Did Derek Carr able to play full seasons underneath these different regimes and coaches and coordinators? He was able to still play full seasons, right?
With what
Regardless of
quarter?
how many coordinators he had. I'm
What
not
is the
saying
but?
every
Okay,
season.
okay,
I'm just saying
yes. I don't.
some.
Okay, yes. I'll buy.
Yeah.
Yes,
No,
yes,
it's just a yes or no. Okay, cool.
yes.
All right, cool. I just want to know the answer to that. So now here's my question. Here's my real question, and you can even expound on this. Since Aiden O'Connell has been in this league, has he got better or has he got worse?
This is not a relevant point.
No. Just
Has
answer the
anybody
question.
on the
No,
team
just
got
answer the
better or
question.
worse? Has anybody
I'm
got
not.
better or
We
worse?
not. No, bro. No. Let's keep it gangster. Let's keep it gangster. I asked you because you're saying that the Raiders did all these things that hindered him, and I'm telling you because you're saying that he hasn't had chances, and I'm like, he's had plenty of chances. But okay, that's my opinion, right?
Yeah.
So let me ask you: since he's been in the league, has he been getting in the NFL? Either you're getting better or you're getting worse. Which one is he doing? Is he getting better or is he getting worse?
I feel like he's getting better.
Okay, Cat, let me ask you guys, because maybe I'm disillusioned about this. Because you go from going 5-5 to 2-5 to not playing at all,
But who?
except for a 3-quarter.
But what was the
Hold
team
on,
around you though?
let me finish.
But well, so did
So
Sam Darnold. So
let
did
me
Sam
finish.
Darnold. So did Baker
Can you allow me?
Mayfield.
Can I finish, please? I allowed you to
So
finish.
did Peyton Manning.
I gave you 3 minutes to talk.
Go ahead.
Like you got 3 minutes, and all I'm saying is this: if you started off at 5-5, which he did good, I was impressed with that. Then you go 2-5 because you can't stay on the field, and then you don't even get on the field your third year of your career, but you do play 3 quarters. That's not getting better. That's not.
How was it not getting better?
Because your availability, you're not even on the field. His numbers is going down. His time on the field is going down. So how do you equate that he's
His time
getting
on the
better?
field went down because nobody played last year because Geno was Pete Carroll's pet. Why don't we see that? Like and nobody was playing last year. No matter who the quarterback was, the best quarterback in the building. Same point I'm making this year. We didn't have a quarterback competition last year. Geno was already that guy. We all knew Geno was going to be that
He
guy.
was hurt.
We seen Geno play horrible and not have consequences. Didn't he could have get taken out for one game and put somebody else in? They did when he was injured, not when he played bad. They did because he was injured. They didn't do it because he threw 3 interceptions in the game, and then the next game threw an interception. Then the following game threw 3 interceptions. They didn't take him out because of his play. They didn't take him out to see, all right, can we get a spark by changing this up and putting in whoever. It doesn't matter. AOC they couldn't have put in because he was hurt with the thumb injury. That's what happens when you put in your backup quarterback who should have been the starter with your third string offense in preseason. That's what happens.
So
Smacked
okay.
up.
So let's go back to the just kind of second year. He definitely got to come in and play.
With Chip Kelly? Was Chip Kelly, let me ask you this, was Chip Kelly a great offensive coordinator?
No.
Was AP a great coach?
No.
Then how do you expect your quarterback to succeed?
The same way you expected any quarterback. There's the same way you expected Gardner Minshew to succeed. The same way you expect Geno Smith to succeed. Like the same way you expect them players to play good underneath those coordinators and coaches. Like, what do you mean?
But they got their opportunities.
And so did AOC. And when he got his opportunity, what did he do? He went 2-5 and he got injured.
Who was the offensive line when Aiden O'Connell came in last year? I believe Colton was already hurt. JPJ was already hurt. You had 2 backup starters. The year before that, when he came in, he didn't come in with the starters that started the season because Colton, I believe, was hurt that year, and JPJ. I think I might be wrong. The first 1 or 2 games he might have had JPJ, but you come in as a backup because your starting quarterback gets hurt in Gardner Minshew, and he had to miss a game. Is why they put him out there. And I believe one of the offensive linemen I thought got injured in that game. But anyways, you put AOC out there because you have an injured quarterback that's not mobile, right? You know this guy isn't going to succeed, and he gets hurt. Like that. I mean, he tried to run, hurt his knee. I mean, what can you do against the Rams, right? That shit happens. Learn how to slide. Like you should be teaching this in practice for all your quarterbacks. They should have sliding drills. Like a quarterback that doesn't know how to slide in the NFL, can you really blame all of it on the player? Yes, you should take your own time, but shouldn't they be teaching quarterbacks how to slide?
No.
I mean, the injury was a deep knee bruise. Didn't Brock Bowers miss a lot of games because of a deep knee bruise? Aiden O'Connell missed 1 game and came back, right? So you're talking about injury.
He got hit though.
He's injury prone, but he had the same injury as Brock Bowers did, a deep knee bruise.
Nah. First of all, Brock Bowers had a knee bruise and a sprained knee. They're not the same.
I do believe his first injury was a deep knee bruise.
He bruised one knee. He bruised one knee and sprained the other one.
I can't see the chat.
No, but so it said so my question was AOC in his career got better
We don't know.
or
We don't
how do
know.
you, oh,
He's
y'all
been
don't know because I know.
he's been
Y'all
yeah,
don't
you
know.
know because you feel like AOC
And
is
you want to
injury
know
prone.
who else
You
knows? You
already
want to
have
know
your
who else
opinion on
knows?
AOC though.
You
You
want to
already
know
have
who
your
else knows? And Kubiak knows. And
if
actually, that's all that matters.
Kubiak knows. He said exactly what he knows. Aiden O'Connell's really impressed me. There's a lot to work with Aiden
No, bro,
O'Connell.
you believe
Kubiak
that?
knows. You're right.
So
Spytag
why?
knows
So
too.
why isn't he? So
And
why
Kirk
did?
Cousins. Kirk Cousins knows too. He said, "Damn, Aiden O'Connell. I'm learning things
So
from
why
him.
did?
I'm learning
Oh my
things from
God,
him."
bro! You don't understand that they're saying that to be nice, bro.
I
It's called
know. How
cordiality.
come every time somebody says something, you think it's to be nice, but when they
No,
say
it's not
something
every time.
that you believe in, they're speaking truth and real talk, right?
So why? So tell me this then. Why
To
isn't
answer
a?
the question, how come when they say something you believe in, he's not just saying it to be nice, he's saying it because
No,
he has to.
let me answer that.
When it's other facts that somebody else believes in, you think he just
Let me answer
yeah.
that. Let me answer that. You feel like that's what I'm doing. That's not what I'm doing. I'm telling you the difference between when Kubiak is being straight and when he's having coach speak. I'm telling you guys the difference. I never once said, oh, it was only this. I'm saying like he means this. He's saying this because it's a group that he's trying to protect. There's a difference. But okay, cool.
How many
But
times you
hold
ever
on
met
though.
Kubiak to know
But
what he's
hold
thinking or
on.
what he's
Oh, so
saying?
now I
Like
gotta meet Kubiak now. Okay, cool.
how
So
you
all
know
right,
what
check
this
this out.
you
So
ain't even
check this out.
the
So
dude's been the coach for
hold
2 months and you already
hold
know
on.
what he's saying?
You're not about to take me 10 different places so I can't ask my question. Here's my question then. If all this stuff is true about AOC and they've already had OTAs and all this other stuff, and so why hasn't Klint Kubiak named AOC the starter going into camp? Why didn't he name him that?
I don't know. However, have you ever thought
No, how come? I didn't hear the answer.
have you ever I'm gonna answer the question.
The question?
Have you ever thought that maybe he wants AOC to be pushed like he wants Cousin to be pushed? Maybe he wants him to go step up and take that job.
Wait a minute.
Maybe
You
he's
just
trying to
said
motivate Aiden O'Connell, right? He spoke on Aiden O'Connell. He said he believes in Aiden O'Connell. Maybe he said he's going to put every one of these guys, every position, every one of these guys, make it feel like it's worse than a game, right? He wants practice to feel like it's harder than a football game, a live football game with bullets. To do
it's
that,
supposed to
you
be.
put pressure on somebody. So just maybe, and I'm not saying, maybe he's trying to bring out the best in Fernando and Aiden O'Connell by saying, okay, curse the guy, but I expect these guys to push him. Go out there and show me what you got. Like, isn't that the way you motivate players? Like, hey,
So wait a minute. Let me see if you
come
let
get
me
your
see
job.
let me see if I'm hearing this right. So you're essentially saying AOC is the better guy, but he's putting him below him to push him. That's what you're saying?
I don't know. A. O'Connell's the better guy. I haven't seen him play with the ones.
Okay, so my question is, why do you think that Kubiak did not name AOC as a starter going into camp? That's my question.
I don't know. Did he ever play with him in Minnesota? Has he been having phone conversations with him for the last 5 years, whatever it was, since the last time they played? They have a
Also,
friendship.
it's favoritism.
They have a relationship
Favoritism?
there. He brought him here. Aiden O'Connell was already here. He don't owe shit to Aiden O'Connell. He does owe something to Kirk Cousins. He owes him an
Why?
opportunity to fight for the starting job, not be given a starting job. He brought him here, telling him he'd get a chance to compete, and that's what he should get, a chance to compete, not be given.
Okay, let's see.
Kirk Cousins said in his interview, I was brought here because I was told I would get an opportunity to compete. I was brought here because I was told I would get an opportunity to compete
You
for the
don't think he's
starting job.
competing?
So compete for the starting job. It's like, what's the problem? He also said,
How do you know?
I
How do
told
you know
Kirk
that
Cousins,
you're
I
not
told
living,
Klint
bro?
Kubiak that if I wasn't the best player on the field, that I didn't want to be that guy. So that leaves the
How do
door
you
open.
evaluate
To,
quarterbacks? How do
to
you
me, that
evaluate
to
quarterbacks?
me that leaves the door open for two guys to step up and take a job.
How do you evaluate a quarterback?
What do you mean? How you evaluate a quarterback?
It's a simple question. How do you evaluate this quarterback is better than that quarterback? How do you evaluate that?
By the way they control the offense, by the way they run a team, by the way they command the offense, by the way they can come up and read defenses, the way they can check out of plays, the way they can check into a run audible, the way they can check into a hot read, the way that the players play for them. You can see when guys are playing for guys. Like, you can tell when teams are tanking and somebody throws them a wide open ball like Justin Jefferson. How many times last year was like, I ain't catching that shit because he don't like JJ McCarthy. You could tell when guys don't want to play for players. That's how you tell. When guys go out and give it their all. When their stats show that they have more touchdowns than interceptions, when their numbers show that they can throw at a 62, 63, 65, 70% completion ratio, when they show that they can make smart decisions and not put their team in harm's way of giving the ball over in short fields. That's how you determine a quarterback, their character, their heart, their intelligence. It's not always the athleticism, right? We've seen probably 90%, if not 95% of the quarterbacks that have won Super Bowls in the NFL didn't win on their athleticism. Tom Brady says it all the time. They win on their intelligence and knowledge of the game. So just because one has more experience than the other and a bigger body of work does not mean the one with the lesser body of work is lesser until you see him play. And this has been my whole thing all the time. I just want to see the competition. I want to see people get pushed at every position. I want to see Caleb Rogers push Spencer Burford. I want to see Jordan Meredith push whatever position he's supposed to be the backup at, right? That's what makes these guys better. Iron sharpens iron. But if you're telling me, like they were told today, that everybody thinks, oh, Kirk Cousins is the quarterback, he's going to take most of the first team reps, then that's not a competition. And that's the only thing I have problem with, right? That's how I evaluate quarterbacks. Can you go out there and do your job? Can you lead your team? Can you come back from a 0-3 game the next week and throw 4 touchdowns in the first half and show like that game's forgotten, it's behind me, right? Can you move on? Because not every quarterback can do that. Not every quarterback can throw an interception and get ready for the next play and not do something stupid or get sacked or get a fumble, right? It takes that mentality of next play, and that's it. It's mental. It's mental. How they talking to pressure, right? Are they coming out like Geno Smith and being like, I, or pointing fingers at this guy? Are you coming out and you saying, hey, every question that's asked and every interview Aiden O'Connell's been in, he said, yeah, that's my fault. I have to do better. I could have made a better throw. I shouldn't have took a sack there. I shouldn't have thrown that interception, right? He's taking responsibility for everything. He's never once came out and said, well, damn, if I had a consistent offensive coordinator or, if I had a better offensive coordinator or a better, passing game coordinator, I'd be a better quarterback, right? Nah, he comes in and he's like, yeah, I got to do better. And he goes in every day and he does his job. He's not in the press. He's not talking shit. He's not making waves. He goes in there and does his job. Now, if you don't want to acknowledge the fact that he's been overlooked a bunch of times because of the quarterback, because of the coaches they brought in their guys, that's fine. But you have to see, and we will see very soon because he's going to play in the preseason. Hopefully, he gets some first team reps. If he doesn't, then you can't really evaluate his performance if he's running against 2s and 3s, right? You can't really see that. Same with Fernando, like Jacob Clark as well. You can't really tell if these guys are, what they have in them in the preseason. You got to see it in games. And I think that open practice is a lot more like a game than it is preseason, right? I think those games get a little bit more rougher. They get a little more physical. So that's how I evaluate quarterbacks. But percentage. But it's not all about wins because there's a lot of good quarterbacks that have been on very bad teams and just didn't have enough to make that team or push them over the hump because they just didn't have the weapons around them or the coaching or whatever it is, the offensive coordinator holding them back. Why do you think offensive coordinators get fired every year? Why do you think first-round quarterbacks fail so much?
Because they can't evaluate talent. That's
put
why.
In position like the Jets. I mean, look at Sam
So
Darnold.
let me just say this.
Sam Darnold goes to the Jets. He's horrible, right? He bounces around, goes to Carolina, does all right, goes to Minnesota, makes it to the playoffs. The next year he wins the Super Bowl with Kubiak in Seattle. So, there's times where there's good quarterbacks that you just can't see because they are on bad teams, right? You see this all the time in the league, and if we don't, then I don't know. I can't say.
Is there a quarterback? Is there a competition at center right now?
There should be.
No, I'm not asking if it should be. My question is there a battle at center right now?
No, but if they do give somebody else
Why
first team
not?
reps,
Why isn't there one?
because one's making $81 million.
No, because one is clearly better than the other.
Do we know that?
It's not because they're
Do we know Linderbaum
no.
is actually clearly better than JPJ at the center position? Like, we haven't seen JPJ in a Rick Dennison offensive line with a Klint Kubiak offense, right? So we'll never know that. We can assume, we can make assumptions all day, but we can assume that Linderbaum is better than JPJ because of his stats and his numbers, but he was also on a better team in Baltimore, had one of the best solid running backs in the league, had good solid dudes around him, right? But there's film, there's plays where he gets beat as well. So I don't know. I don't know if Linderbaum is better than JPJ. Like, that's what everybody says. That's what his last couple years prove on film because he's been that guy, but we haven't seen JPJ. We've seen him play left guard. We've seen him play center. We've seen him play right guard. I would love to see JPJ get some snaps with the first team, and they'd be like, damn, wait a minute. But that'll never happen because they already brought that dude in and paid him all that money. That's how the NFL works. It's a business. It's a business.
That's not just how it works.
When you constantly bring in a new coach and constantly have turnover, the guys that get drafted by other regimes don't get a chance unless they're top A, grade A, the best player on the field, and everything they do, they're sticking out. And if you're not that, or somebody comes in and says, well, I don't think he's a center, I think he's a guard, and he should be an all-pro guard, and you move him to guard and don't let him play the center position, like we can't judge players on that are I don't know. The NFL's
they have scouts for a reason, bro.
And all those scouts ain't always right. How many guys fail in the NFL?
Bro, hold on. Let me allow me to retort. So, yes, they're not always right, but they do know a baseline of what this player is and what this player is not and what this player is. So they know the baseline. They know the ceilings and floors of a lot of these players. But okay, whatever. If you don't know the difference between JPJ at center and Linderbaum, you got it. You got that. So, but this is what the question I have for you though is can you evaluate a player, a quarterback, if he starts 7 games in a season? Can you evaluate the type of guy he is, the type of quarterback he is in 7 games?
You should be able to in 7 games. As a rookie?
No, not as a rookie. I'm
Just
saying
any quarterback?
in 7 games. Let's say his second year. In his second year, can you evaluate what a quarterback is in 7 games?
I mean, you have enough body of work to somehow evaluate the body of work that he does. You could see if a player has it or if he doesn't, right? If he's constantly making bad decisions, if he's making bad mistakes, if he's putting the ball in harm's way, yeah.
Okay, and so in those 7 games, you go 2-5. What does that tell you?
Who went 7-5? I don't know. What's it tell you?
No. You just elaborately explained to me how you could tell all these different things in these 7 games, and I said, and out of those 7 games, that quarterback goes 2-5. What does that tell you about the quarterback?
I don't know. Was that quarterback throwing for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns and losing? I don't know.
Let's say no.
I don't know.
Let's say no.
Okay,
and then amongst going 2-5, right? You get injured. So what can you tell? So based on a quarterback going 2-5 and you getting injured, what does that tell you about a quarterback? Good, bad, or indifferent?
It shouldn't tell you shit because Joe Burrow got injured his rookie season, and a lot of people say, "Oh, damn, he wasn't that good. He got injured. Like he's not gonna be that." And the next year, he was in the playoffs. That
was his rookie year. His second year. What did he do?
He went to the Super Bowl. That's what I'm saying.
We're talking about a quarterback in his second year. You can
evaluate a guy in 7 games, and if he gets injured, no, not really.
Saying, we're talking about a quarterback in his second year. I purposely did not say his rookie year.
Oh, second
his
year.
Second year. Because as a cornerback, you need to turn the corner by the third year.
Okay, so
By the third year.
were these 7 starts consistently in 7 straight games?
Well, no, because you got injured in between them.
Okay, well then no, you can't evaluate a quarterback. No, I changed my answer.
You can't
No.
evaluate you can't tell if a quarterback has the ability to stay on the field or not.
Yeah, that's not the question. You said, can you evaluate a quarterback?
No,
Not
I
if I
said
can tell
what
if he
I
can stay
said
on the
no,
field
my
or not.
question was what can you evaluate? You can evaluate if a player
No, you didn't say what. You
you
said,
just
can you?
explain.
You said, can I evaluate a quarterback if he's 2-5 in 7 games? And then you changed it and moved the
No,
goalpost and
I did not.
said,
I didn't move.
if
I
he's
didn't change
injured,
nothing.
and then you moved the
No,
goalpost again and said,
no,
but
I didn't. I
what
didn't
can you
never move the
evaluate?
goalpost. No, I asked you, what can you do? What can you determine about a quarterback in 7 games? And you elaborately told me what it was. And then my next question was, because I didn't move no goalposts. My next question was, what can you evaluate if he went 2-5 during those 7 games? And then you answered that. And then
No,
I said,
I didn't answer. I asked questions. I said, what was the team around him? It depends on the scenario. Like that's what I'm saying. I didn't answer the question. I still had questions because you can evaluate a lot of things. But was that coach getting ready to get fired? Was the offensive coordinator getting ready to get fired because they were trash? Like I mean, you can evaluate his body of work. Did he do what he was asked? But was he put in good situations? Like it's hard to say if you can evaluate a guy that's 2-7 because most likely if you're 2-7 you either got an ass quarterback or a horrible team, or you can have both.
okay.
But if you're 2-7,
So
your team's
so
probably not very good. Your coaches probably aren't very good, or your quarterback's just absolutely horrible. But if your defense is stopping people, and not giving up 25 yards a game, and you're losing, then I mean, obviously it's not the quarterback; it's part of the team, right? If you're what 60% completion ratio and a 85
okay.
to 100 QBR, then can you really put that on the quarterback if
Okay,
he's
so all
doing
those
his job?
ifs. So all those ifs, but let's say the quarterback played 7 games. He went 2-5 during those games.
Mm-hmm.
He got injured in between those games, so you can't really tell what he is yet because I don't know for whatever the reason. So then he goes into his third year where you're supposed to turn the corner as a quarterback. You're supposed to turn the corner as a
Yeah, that's supposed to
quarterback
be
in your
that
third
year.
year.
Everything
But
clicks.
this same quarterback that we were just talking about in his third year, he only
Just say the
played
name.
three
It's
quarters.
AOC. Just
He
don't beat
played
around
three
the bush
quarters.
all the time.
No,
Just say
forget
it. It's
AOC.
Aiden O'Connell. You know what it is. I mean, we know what it is.
Forget that it's Aiden
But we
O'Connell.
know what it
Any
is. But just
quarterback.
say this certain quarterback.
Any quarterback that does this, it's not an Aiden O'Connell thing. See, that's the thing about it. You seem to think that I have this angst against him. It's not against him. Well, I'm talking about
You're
a
saying two and
quarterback.
five
If
and an
any
injury.
quarterback is plays 7 games and he go 2-5 in those games and he get injured in the middle of those, I can evaluate some things. I can't
Like what?
necessarily nail. I can't. One second. I can't necessarily nail it to the wall yet, but I can kind of get a picture of what it is. So then let's go into the third year. So the third year come, he gets injured. Let's say he could have came back midway through the season. I won't even hold the whole season against the guy. Let's just say that he missed 10 weeks or 7 weeks or whatever in that third year. So what does that tell me about that quarterback? Well, so his name is Aiden O'Connell, Gardner Minshew, Joe Burrow. It don't matter who the quarterback is. What does that tell you about the quarterback?
What was the injury and what was those
What was
stats,
those
right?
stats, right?
Did he get hurt? Did he get hurt getting sacked? Did he get hurt running to try to get a first down? Did he get hurt throwing the ball and it smacked on somebody's helmet and broke his wrist? Like, how did he get hurt? Right? Those are all questions that you have to ask as well.
So it matters. So it matters how he got hurt,
It
right?
all has to go together, in my opinion. I mean, yeah, you can evaluate some things, but that's why I asked, like, what is his stats, right? So he's 2-5.
His stats.
Say he's throwing for 260 yards a game, and
No, and I said no, and I
he's
said no. He's
17
not
for
doing that.
25 or something, right?
He's not. He's not doing that. The quarterback the hypothetical quarterback we talking about ain't talking about he's throwing for 250 yards and throwing for 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. Because if that was the case, you can say, well, you know what? If he can stay healthy, he probably is effective. Like you could probably surmise that, but that's not even the case. He's not throwing for 250. He's throwing for anywhere between, let's just say the average is like 175. 175. Let's go there. Let's say 175.
175 what? One touchdown, 175 a touchdown and an interception.
Let's say 175, one touchdown, one interception. Average, on average. On average. Not every game is that, but I'm just saying on average is 175, because some games he might not throw no touchdowns. In some one game he might throw two touchdowns. I'm just saying on average, if he's 175 yards, one touchdown, one interception, but he injured in 2 seasons back to back and has a record of 2-5. What does that tell you about the quarterback?
He's Joe Burrow. Okay. Come on.
I got
Well,
you.
175 a touchdown interception. Like we're at, what are we talking to 3-year-olds here? Like we're asking dumb questions, I feel like. And not to be
Okay.
rude,
It's dumb. The questions is dumb. It's cool.
no, but if you're averaging, I mean, I'm just trying to get to your point. Like if you're averaging one touchdown, one interception per game in 7 games, that means you had 7 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and 175 yards a game. That's not very good.
I would agree with that, because first of all, I'm not trying to make a point. I'm asking you a question to understand how you evaluate quarterbacks. That's all I'm asking. I have no point. But here's a question though for you though. If
In your
we were to
second year,
trade,
in your second year, that's not good at all. Like, especially if you played
I
your
would agree
rookie
with
year.
that. I would agree with that. So here's a question from Jason. If we trade AOC, what's his trade value? This is an excellent question. 'Cause this will tell you how you evaluate AOC as the quarterback. What is his trade value to you? To you, your opinion. I'm not about to argue with you about it. I'm not gonna give you no pushback about it. In your opinion, what do you think AOC trade value is?
I mean, at least a 5th. You got a 5th for Kenny Pickett. They traded a 3rd for Geno. Shit, maybe even a 4th. You got to be somewhere in the middle in there. Like, shit, we'll see. We'll see. Like if he gets to play in this preseason compared to what Geno gets to do with the Jets. But I mean, you gave up a 3rd for Geno Smith and paid him $31 million, and you gave up a 5th for Kenny Pickett. I don't know if you'll ever get a 4th back for Aiden O'Connell because of his body of work, unless people really go back and evaluate every single game and the situations, the who was calling plays, the plays that they were calling, right? Like, I mean, it's you have to know everything before you can evaluate somebody. You can't evaluate a quarterback unless you know who the quarterback is, what plays they're calling against certain defenses. All that matters, right? Like if you're throwing deep balls 25 yards down the field in cover 2, like, or cover 4, right? Or quarters and palms, like you're probably not going to have a very high success rate. If you're throwing the ball in the middle of the field in Tampa 2, you're probably not going to have a very high success rate, right? So all that comes into consideration is, where all of it. Who's the offensive coordinator? Who's calling plays? Because we've seen decent quarterbacks with great offensive coordinators and coaches and players around them win Super Bowls, right? Would you agree? Like Trent Dilfer wasn't a top 15 or 10 quarterback ever in his career?
No, he wasn't.
But they had a good defense and they had weapons around him on offense, and he didn't have to do a lot. He probably averaged 175 a game, 1 touchdown, and maybe 2 touchdowns or whatever. Not a lot. They ran the ball a lot. They relied on their defense. The Tampa Bay Bucks that beat us in the Super Bowl, right? Brad Johnson, he wasn't going out there killing everybody. He wasn't throwing the ball 300 yards like Patrick Mahomes a game in 5 touchdowns. Their defense won them that game, right? So
you don't have to throw for
you don't have to
300
be a great quarterback, but the scenarios count, right? Who's calling the plays,
No.
right? Because if you look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, when Tony Dungy was there, they had a great defense, but their offense was horrible. And then they made a trade with the Raiders to go get John Gruden over there, and the offense kicked it up a bit, but they still had that great defense that Tony Dungy created, right? They won a Super Bowl. So,
But they have the same quarterback too, though. So that goes to show you it's not about the numbers. It's about the system and the quarterback ability to play in certain moments. But okay, that's cool.
hallelujah.
But
Let's
but the
go.
thing is,
Let's
what
go.
you're trying to
Now we
say,
getting it.
but the difference between Trent Dilfer and a third year quarterback that hasn't started a full season yet is Trent Dilfer has started a full season at that point already. So there's a big difference. But I don't want to go there about it anyway.
Yeah, consistent coaching
But
and nobody
Jason
to push
says
him, just like Derek Carr
Jason
had
said
nobody to push him.
yeah, that could be the case. But Jason said I like that a fifth is fair. Okay, that's cool. A fifth round quarterback. I mean, a fifth for him is fair. Justice for 12 says AOC has had chances, can't stay healthy. I want you to see them two undrafted quarterbacks we got in the preseason with Mendoza. I know a couple people that think that our undrafted is better than.
Jacob Carr can play. I don't know if he's better than AOC. I guarantee you, not when it comes to controlling the defense, to reading defenses,
How do you know that?
to pre-snap read, because he's a rookie. He's not even in the NFL. If Mendoza can't do it as the
Wait a
number one
minute.
pick, you're telling me Jacob Clark can do it, but better than Aiden O'Connell? You're the
Okay,
quarterback,
cool.
Black. Come on.
Okay, first of all, you keep trying to put it on me, and I'm asking you about your opinions. So don't do that, bro. Because the thing about
You're
it is,
asking me opinions. I'm asking you opinions.
no.
You're the
So
quarterback.
ask me and let me answer first before you draw the line for me. Because if I had to ask, because I'll ask you, how do you know those things that you just said? I'm not the one who said that. Now, I don't think that Jacob Clark is better than AOC. I don't think that. I don't think that. So when you saying, well, you're the quarterback, you should be able to this, and the third. I'm like, how do you know I don't even see it the same way you see it? Because I do. So
Because
I don't know
well,
where I don't know
then
where
why
you even
you
came with that from.
then why are you insulting my intelligence and asking me questions like that? Then
Because the
I feel
chat
like you
asked
trying
the
to make a
question.
clown out
I
of me.
didn't ask the
Like
question. The
you
chat
trying to make a
did.
clown. You asking questions that you said
The
you
chat,
already know
bro.
that. Like you
The
don't feel
chat
it like
asked the
that. Then why
question.
would you
Now
ask
you're
that
getting in
question?
your feelings
Why
because
would
I
you
didn't
ask?
ask the question. The chat asked the question. It wasn't my question. I didn't come up with it. It's in the chat. So don't say I'm asking you questions and telling your intelligence. It's literally in the chat, bro.
No, but that's what I'm saying. No, you just said, because I asked you the same question. I said, man, how
No,
like
but you didn't never
that's
let
the
me
same
answer the
question, right?
question. You didn't never let me answer the question before you drew a conclusion already.
Oh, okay, my bad. I
That's the
apologize.
difference.
I apologize.
But so
I
but
didn't get that.
Frank said no, it's cool. Frank said let's settle this. Both of you guys give us your quarterback depth chart, number 1 through 4, if we were playing a game tomorrow. I'll allow you to go first.
As of right now,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's obvious that Klint Kubiak already said Kirk's going to be that guy tomorrow. So if the game was starting tomorrow, he'd be that guy. Aiden, in my opinion, is number 2, and I believe they start the season with Mendoza as the emergency quarterback if they don't plan on playing him this year.
I could be wrong. I
And
think
I
Weber's asking. I
and I
could be
believe
wrong, but I think he's asking your QB depth chart, not Kubiak's.
that's
What
what I'm
would
saying.
your
That's mine.
what
That's
would
mine.
yours
It would
be?
be Kirk Cousins, Aiden O'Connell, Mendoza, and Jacob Clark on the practice squad.
Okay, I agree with that. I agree with all 3 of those. I mean, all 4 of those. Excuse me. Hey, Weber said, I don't remember a 3-way quarterback controversy ever happening. Yeah, that's why I say that. I think we got the best quarterback room in football.
But last year, when everybody said, oh, the Raiders got 2 quarterbacks, everybody went back to the old John Madden, analogy that if you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have one, right?
No, yeah, okay, yeah. That still apply. That still applies right now. But that don't mean that I'm just saying we have the best quarterback room in the NFL, like at least top 3. So Frank Weber says 7 games is a good start, but no, not enough for a complete evaluation. I would agree with that. Charm City, what's up with you? I'm just saying, if we
If
were
you
to,
put
that's
if
why, that's the reason why I didn't just use that 1 year under a microscope. I didn't include the rookie year because you're a rookie. So, okay, you should bump your head or whatever. So let's not use that. Let's use the second year and the third year because we know that the third year is the year that the quarterbacks has to either get it or don't.
Yep.
That's the reason why I use those two. Those two. That what's it called?
It feels like
That
a
scale.
sauna out here.
Oh, it's hot everywhere.
Good Lord.
It says Drake May don't have a true experience number two. Mm.
Did they get rid of Romeo Dobbs? I mean not Dobbs, the quarterback Dobbs, whatever his name is.
Yeah, I
Joshua
think he's
Joshua Dobbs or something.
yeah, and and the thing about him is he plays good the first couple games, and then all of a sudden he falls off because they
Yeah, but
catch up with him.
he got experience. I thought he was like some NASA dude or something. Went to school, like got some NASA degree or some shit.
Or like what they call that a rocket scientist almost like
Yeah, some kind of I forget what he does, but he got
engineer, like I forgot they call him what you
yeah,
call him, nautical engineers, aeronautical engineer or something like that. So he's probably just hella smart.
he got some super high title, whatever it is. But yeah, he was hella
It's
smart in college. But
oh wow. I hope we don't ever put him in a Wildcat. I'll be mad if we put Brock Bowers in a Wildcat. No, see, we can agree. I agree that the quarterback the quarterback room is Kirk Cousins, Aiden O'Connell. No, 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 no. You know what? Let me take that back. Let me take that back. Let me take that back. I'm sorry. I'm wrong. Because that's what I think that the quarterback room should be in order to protect Mendoza. But if I'm taking that off the board, this is what my quarterback room look like. Number one is Kirk Cousins. Number two is Mendoza. Number three is Aiden O'Connell, and then number four is Clark. That's what I think the quarterback. If they don't have to get on the field and play, if I just have to just make a depth chart, that's what I think the depth chart would be. But if I'm trying to protect Mendoza from playing, I'm putting Aiden O'Connell over him. But I don't think Aiden O'Connell is a better quarterback than him. Not because I think that Mendoza is smarter than him or anything. I think they're probably comparable. I just think that, and this is how I evaluate quarterbacks in a nutshell is who gives me the best ability to win games. That's it. And I think that Mendoza give us the ability to win games more so than any of the other two quarterbacks other than Kirk Cousins. The ability to win games. That's it. Nothing personal. That's it. It's just that simple.
you know, my whole thing is if he goes out there and you know is good, is bad, whatever. If you're not giving the guys behind him first team reps, how do you expect them to come in and perform if they have to come in off the bench? Like they have to know the guys around them. You have to have some chemistry. You have to be throwing with those guys. And if you're Mendoza throwing with the threes, and let's hypothetically, say Aiden gets hurt in training camp again or in the preseason like he did last year because he's injury prone, like some people believe. So if Mr. Injury Prone gets injured again, and then something happens to Kurt in the first week or two, then what? We got a rookie kid that took no reps with the ones, doesn't know any of those dudes, and you're gonna have to bring in a bunch of the third string
Yeah.
receivers to try to help him out.
No. No. First of all, if you run through two quarterbacks in 3 weeks or whatever, you got a bigger problem in
Well, yeah, I'm just saying
Mendoza.
hypothetically, that's gonna be a big problem.
Mendoza is not going to be the solution for it. He's going to be hurt too. That's what's going to happen.
Well, yeah, because our offensive line is obviously no bueno.
Yeah. So if
But
that
that's what
does
I'm saying.
happen,
Like you gotta be prepared for every. I listen to everything they say, and the smaller details instead of just jumping on the first thing. Like some people in conversations be like, oh, well, you said this, right? But I try to listen to everything everybody says. And Spytech has made it perfectly clear that they have a plan, right? They have a plan. They have a plan A, they have a plan B, and they probably have a plan C, D, E, F, and G, like because they're prepared. And we haven't seen that in this organization in a long time. They didn't have a plan, right? There was no backup plan for Aiden O'Connell getting hurt, obviously, because they had to go out. They didn't believe in Cam Miller, and they had to go out and bring in Kenny Pickett and trade a 5th-round pick for him because Aiden got hurt, right? They didn't have a plan. They didn't have a plan to fire Chip Kelly week 6, right? Obviously, they didn't have a plan when Colton Miller went down or JPJ because they moved the whole offensive line around. They put Kappa at guard, then they put, moved Meredith to guard, and then he got hurt, and then they put Kappa at center. Like, they didn't have there was no plan. There was no backup plan. Plan was plan A. I've won 10 games everywhere I went, and I'm going to go win 10 games, and that's what the plan I felt was. That, like, I've done this before, I can do it again, and, I could turn any team around, and it didn't work like that. I think
Pete Carroll didn't say
I think Carroll was overlooking the fact of what Kubiak says all the time, right? It's not about me, like you were talking about earlier. It's not about it's about everybody. And I'm not the only coach here. I rely on the older guys. I rely on Rick Dennison. I rely on McCoy. I rely on these guys daily, right? He's relying on these guys. Pete Carroll said, "I know everything. I ain't relying on nobody." Right? There's a difference. There's a big difference. And they have
right.
a plan. Kubiak comes in. He said today, like, we practice an hour and a half. Like, there was no. I didn't feel like there was no specific time they practiced. It felt like they just went out there and practiced until they were like, okay, this is good, right? After they got done rolling around in their big giant balls and doing all that, wrestling and all that stupid shit they was doing, like, didn't seem like there was a plan this year. It was like Pete Carroll's like, I've done this before, and this is the way it's gonna go. And if it doesn't go that way, then I don't, he even said, I've never been in this situation, right? How many times did Pete Carroll in a press conference say, I've never been here before. I've never lost this many games. Like, I don't have a plan. I've never done this. Haven't been here. So I feel like this is different. Klint Kubiak has a plan. He's not expecting too much. He's expecting to get better, right? And, if they don't win as much games as they expect, then, what can you do? But obviously there's a problem. But I feel like he believes that, like he said, all these guys are going to come in and play good football. They're expected to play good football, whether it's Mendoza, whether it's Jacob Clark or Aiden O'Connell, right? They're expected, if something happens, to play good football. And for that to happen, you got to take first team reps, man. You got to. So,
I don't agree with that though, because that's ideal. That's an ideal situation. That's best case scenario. And what you understand is you rarely get a best case scenario. But I get it.
are
So
we
here's a
not?
question. Here's a question from the chat.
But are we not in a best case scenario though? I mean, we have a quarterback that's a veteran. We have a rookie quarterback that can play, and you have a backup that has experience and has proven he can win games. I mean, the kid's 6-1 when you rush for 100 yards. Kubiak, I think their offense pretty much rushes for average over 100 yards, like 140 a game. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I feel
Here,
like we have the perfect situation that you can do that. Okay, let me ask you this before you ask my question from the chat. Like, if they know what Kirk Cousins can do, right? If they know what Kirk Cousins can do, and he's that guy, then why is he going to take most of the first team reps? If you
let me
already
ask
know
that.
what he's capable of, let's see what some of these younger guys can do. I feel like, to
No,
me,
you, you want me to answer it?
yeah. Can I finish though? To me, it just seems like that you don't want these dudes to come out there and show that they could be better.
So you asking the question and answering it, but expect me to answer it too.
Well, yeah, because I was going to answer it, and then you can go. Yeah, that's how it
Oh,
works.
okay, go ahead. So really, so you think that they're starting he's taking more of the first team reps because they really don't have the confidence in him, but they're giving him they're just giving it to him, that the first team reps.
No, I'm saying if they already know what he could do, right? Like you're saying, like they already know from his body of work, they already know he's the best quarterback, right? That's what you said. They already know he's the best quarterback on the field. They already know he's the best guy. So why not get the young guys out there and see what we have in them, right? Give them first team reps and see.
So you want me? So let me answer that. Let me tell you why. Because I don't know why. Well, here's the answer. Here's a straight answer. The answer is this: because you need your number one quarterback who's going into a season with a whole bunch of new moving parts to get as many reps between now and then as possible.
So he's the
That's why.
quarterback, is what you're saying, then, right? That's their guy.
Since April 3rd, I've been saying that.
That's their guy. So there's no competition. Then
I've been saying that
you're
since
just
April
appointing
3rd.
somebody, and if that's what I'm saying, so if they already know that, then if they've known that the whole time, and you've known it since April 3rd, then why does he need to take so many first team reps? Why take the majority, split reps?
Why would you split reps with somebody that ain't gonna play?
Because you already know what he can do, though.
No, you need to practice it. You don't just throw him out there because well, we know you can throw for 4,000 yards, so we don't really need to play you all year. I mean, all off season. We're just gonna throw you out there between week 3 of the preseason and the first week of the real season. That's not how that works. Especially when you got new receivers that you rarely have familiarity with, and an O line that ain't even been really put together yet. Like you need to put all those parts together. It's not just about this quarterback, it's about the continuity of the offense itself. Because, as a matter of fact, the quarterback got to see the deficiencies of the other players so he can make the adjustment. And that can only happen if he's doing reps with these guys. Because it's not the question isn't Kirk Cousins. The question is, how is the O line going to play? The question is not Kirk Cousins. The question is, how are we going to gel with these wide receivers when we're lacking in that department? The question is not Kirk Cousins. The question is, how do we implement the run game without the running back having to get hit like in the backfield? Because the question isn't Kirk Cousins. The question is the pieces around him. And in order to figure out how you get around that is through reps, not by putting Kirk Cousins out there for a little bit and then throwing Mendoza in there a little bit and then a little bit of Jacob Clark. That's the reason why Klint Kubiak is announcing before camp that this guy is going to get majority of the reps because we need to rep it up. Not because we know what he's going to do. We need everybody to start to gel together.
That
That's
works
the
out.
reason.
That works out great for Aiden O'Connell then, right? Because if you're the second team quarterback, or Mendoza, if you're the second team quarterback, you're probably going against the ones the majority of the time. So that quarterback's going to be getting better going against a better defense because Cousins, if you're taking the majority of the snaps with the ones, then you're probably more than likely, right? That's just how it works. You're going against the twos. So you're out there running against the twos while your backup second and third string is going against the number one defense. That works out better for your backups, in my opinion.
No, that's not how that. No, it's not that the first team go against the second team and the second team go against the first team. That's not. It happens like that in camp, but that's not the only way it happens in camp. Because see, this is the thing is,
Yeah, I said 90% of the time they're not running one-on-ones. At least
yeah, they are.
we haven't the last couple of years.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I'm not gonna speak on that. I doubt that's how that go, but I'm not gonna speak on that. But what I do know that the ones goes against the ones, especially in team period. Yeah, maybe when you're trying to implement an offense, yeah, you might put your ones against the twos so you can get confidence with the ones. But then once the ones start dominating the twos to a certain level, and the same thing is happening on the defensive end, it doesn't have to happen simultaneously, but let's say if it does happen simultaneously, then you get the defense over here barking like, man, get these fools up out of here, man. We killing them. Same thing with the offense. They doing that. Then guess what happened? Okay, bet. Break. Team period. Everybody go get water. After we come back from water, we doing team period. That's when the ones go against the ones. And then if they get to playing each other, especially like on 7-on-7, or and the offense is getting the best of the defense, then guess what they do then? They'll be like, okay, cool. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go live now. And that's when they start hitting. And that's ones against ones, not ones against twos. Like that's when it really get live. So a lot 90% of the time is that they go against the twos and all that. I just don't think that's factual. And one other thing, like the Houston's practice, is not more physical then because they're not going to be hitting there. They're not going to be tackling in those practices. I'm gonna tell you what makes those practices better than preseason games, though, because you are right about that.
They
You are
don't
right
tackle in
that
those practices. Have you watched any of their camp? They be brawling in those practices.
no, they may be fighting, but they don't
They're
tackle,
writing
coach.
people up.
Bro, they don't
It's a
tackle.
full
They
on.
don't.
It's more physical than preseason.
No, it's bro. No, it's not because you're not gonna risk getting your player hurt by some other team's player. You know what they do in those practices? They go thud. You know what thud is, right?
Yo,
Yeah, that's when you run up on the person and you thud them. You hit them real hard. You until you make that thudding sound. But you don't tackle them. You don't take them to the ground. And sometimes those fights happen because sometimes players get overly aggressive in thud, right? So that's where those fights and stuff come from.
I
Now,
can't.
what makes those closed practices better than preseason games is because in those closed practices there's no film. So now you can run your actual offense that you're actually going to run because no one's going to have tape on it except for the person that you're playing. Well, you won't have tape, but they'll see the plays. But the same will apply to them because they're going to use more regular season type plays during those practices. That's why those practices are better than preseason games. Because preseason games, you got ones playing against the threes. You playing vanilla defense. You're not blitzing. It's just so watered down. So your only thing you're really evaluating is bubble players. You're not evaluating true starters or people that's trying to take a starter's
Yeah, you
position.
are. That's how you get ready for the season. That's how you evaluate those players. Is you go out
Okay,
there and see
all
what they
right,
can do in live bullets. That's why you have those joint
okay.
practices.
No, I said preseason game. In preseason games, they're not. Those are for bubble players. Like if you're a starter, you're not going to get your job taken because this guy played hella good in preseason, and you guys are somewhat close.
Not
I
all the
mean, you
time.
got you have to be like really close. Those are bubble players. Like if you're on the bubble of taking the starter position, it's going to be because of how you act in practice, that close practice, and then maybe the preseason. But if you get a clear starter like Kirk Cousins and you got a rookie coming in, this rookie's not about to take your job because of these preseason games, unless y'all already come in close to each other, which they're not. They're not close. Now, if it was just AOC and Mendoza on the roster, then yeah, I could see preseason games determining between the two. I could see that, but not when you have a proven starter that's been in the league for 14 years and we know he can spin the ball still. That's what you're trying to see if he still got the velocity on his arm. That's what you're trying to figure out as a
I want to
as
see
a
if he can
coach.
still compete at the high level everybody thinks he can at 39 years old. That's what I'm worried about.
Well,
I
he
seen what
showed
Aaron
that he
Rodgers.
showed
I
that
seen what
last
Aaron
year.
Rodgers did the last 2 years, right? I seen what Joe Flacco did. Yes, he was okay, but like it wasn't the same Joe Flacco. Like you're not the same at 39 years old. I mean, I remember when I turned 39, bro. I wasn't the same that I was at 28
It's,
or even 30 or even 32. Like
Yeah,
age
but your
passes,
39, your
especially
39
coming
and
off
my
an
39
Achilles.
might not have been the same though. Your 39 and my 39 might not be the same. But let me ask you this. Is Joe Flacco better than Kirk Cousins?
Don't he have a Super Bowl win?
No, right now. I'm talking about right now. Do you think Joe Flacco is better than Kirk Cousins?
I mean, the way he was slinging the rock last year, I don't know. I don't know. Hard to say. Hard to say. He played at a pretty high level last year. Whether it was
Who? Played at a
Cleveland,
high level?
Flacco, he played pretty damn solid at Cleveland and
So if he
where'd he
played
go?
high at, why
The
didn't he
Bengals,
finish? Why did
the
he lose his
Bengals,
starting position in Cleveland then?
because he didn't lose his starting job. They traded for him. The Bengals came and traded for him because Burrow
So
got hurt, and then he went over there and killed it for a while until
right,
Burrow came back.
right, and then he became a backup.
Well, yeah, because it's Joe Burrow.
Yeah, well, you knew when you went to Cincinnati that you weren't going to stay the starter. You knew that.
Yeah, that's. I mean, he
So
knew
why
he
would
wasn't
you
gonna
why
stay a
would you
starter
leave a team
anyway.
that you're the
He's 40
starter of
years
that?
old. He's on
Yeah,
his
I
way
got you.
out, like Kirk should be. 40 years old. You should be on your way out.
I got you. Raider Nation, Raider Nation, nickel and dime. Was good with you, brother? We all know it, Cousins. Yeah, make sure I don't have any mods in here because we need to put your yeah. Are you going live tonight? Because I'm gonna
Huh?
pull up. Are you
Yeah,
gonna go live tonight?
yeah. I'll be live in a little bit, probably.
Okay, because I don't want to hold you up. I will be. I'll come to your chat though for sure. He said, "Remember, our opinions are based on what we have seen, not what the staff has seen.
Facts,
Facts,
facts.
facts. Let
And
me
that's why
see.
we do this. We all have opinions. If everybody had a different opinion, then you wouldn't get people watching your channel because everybody had the same. They
Right?
could just go to any channel and watch and be like, oh, they got the same. I just go to this dude and watch him because I like him better because they all got the same opinion. Like you have to have different opinions, and that's the only thing that I don't know. People trip with the whole AOC thing. Like just because I believe a kid can play until he proves me wrong, people want to hate and throw shade and shit, but that's all right. They keep throwing shade this way
Well,
because until he proves me he can't play, I'm gonna stand on my fucking 10 toes always, right? Like that.
for sure.
That's just my
My
opinion.
only
Same with Cedric Jackson. Same with Jordan Meredith. I feel the same way. Jordan Meredith is the best guard we have on that roster right now. He proved it 2 years ago and then got moved around because of bad coaching. It goes back to my same thing. When you get bad coaching, good players get fall to the wayside. If you have an O line coach that doesn't know how to be an O line coach, it starts moving guys from guard to center and center to guard when they're both better at the positions they played in, and it just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. So
Yeah, no, I'm gonna let you go because I know I do want to respect your time and that you go on because I know what it's like to do it because you've been on here at least an hour or so to do a stream and then go do an hour and a half stream or whatever on your own. I get it, so I
yeah,
definitely appreciate your time and all that. My question, see, I messed around and forgot my question just
oh
that
shit.
fast. I know, right? Um, hey, what was I about to, let me see, what was I about to ask you?
It was in the chat. I thought some in the chat.
Let me see. Well, here's one question. One of the drafted quarterbacks will make the roster. Do you agree with that? I don't think there's room for that, but what do you think?
For what?
One of the undrafted quarterbacks will make the roster.
There's only one undrafted quarterback is Jacob Clark, and I believe he makes the roster to be the practice squad guy.
He makes it and be the practice squad.
Yeah, he's not going to be a 53-man roster. They'll keep three
Um,
on the 53, and one will be the emergency guy, which I believe more than likely would be Mendoza if they don't want him playing, right? If that's the plan to sit. Because if you have him at backup number 2 and something happens to Kurt, then you have to throw him out there because you can't throw the emergency guy out there unless both quarterbacks are injured, I do believe, right?
right, I
So
think that's how it goes. Yeah.
yeah, so you can't just throw the emergency quarterback in and have him as your third emergency and really be your backup. So you have to put him on that third
Oh,
emergency
he's saying.
quarterback list.
Oh, he's saying that if AOC get traded, then Clark could be the replacement.
If AOC gets traded, then that means they believe that Mendoza is ready,
Yeah,
and
I agree.
they don't need another backup. That means Mendoza showed enough to me that he can be the guy, and they'll go get their backup quarterback next year. Doesn't make sense to me, but I feel like that's the way they go.
Yeah, I don't know. They may think that Clark might be that backup for next year. I'm not sure. But what do you think about Laffy Taffy, Locky Tassi out of here? And how do you feel about Vea? Do you like that? Because I know that you kind of wanted to have a D tackle come in and we didn't. So what do you think about that?
I wanted to see what the young man could do at least preseason. Let him get out there, let him get some competition. I mean, 373 pounds, 6'8". The dude's a ginormous monster, and
Right.
you could just lean on people and allow our linebackers like Quay Walker and Kobe Dean to do what they do best and get to the quarterback, right? And just that big body. So I wanted to see it, but it also, I kind of like it in a way too. Not for Lackey Tassi because I wanted them to be a Raider and see what the young man could do. and it's gonna suck like all Raiders if he goes somewhere else and gets a shot and shows that
Right.
like that dude's already coming in and playing. That says a lot about this coaching staff, and not in a good way, right? To let him go, that says a lot about upper management. Kind of like the what is it, the Chris Brown or whatever, the linebacker we just let go. You know, we let a linebacker go last year that went to Seattle and ended up making a Super Bowl and winning a Super Bowl and got decent play time, right? And we cut him. So, to me that it says a lot if these guys go somewhere else and play, right? Just like Tyree Wilson, if he goes to the Saints and balls out, then you got to be like, man, this coaching staff, bro. What's up with this coaching staff? So hopefully, it was the right decision. But I believe that, if they did them making that decision tells me that Brandon Cleveland, their 7th round pick, is maybe showing something that he could be that nose tackle, or who else did they bring in? Benito or
Nico,
whatever.
yeah,
Yeah,
Nico.
yeah, or maybe that guy could, maybe he's showing something enough with booty shorts on and a helmet that they feel like he can make plays, or maybe they just Lackey Tassie couldn't keep up in the heat, and as big as he is, he just not just can't go, right? So
Yeah, I'm not sure. From what I've been hearing, well, I heard something today that Cleveland might get cut. Um, but Laki Tassi, I'm not sure. I was surprised about that. I was kind of surprised that he didn't at least get through camp. So I don't know what that means. Um, what do you think about Vea though? Do you think that would be a good?
that's why I
That would
was
be a good? That was a good sign. And well, yeah, you. But, I mean, this is what I really mean to ask you. What do you think he's worth? What do you think his trade value is for us, or what,
I
or
feel
you would
like
be comfortable with?
Lackey Tassie might have a part, you know, getting cut might have something to do with Vita Vea, right? Maybe they're trying to make room on that defensive line, and they're like, man, just let the big man go because we can bring this man in. So, um, I've seen some people say a 4th, a 5th. I've seen a lot of people on X saying a 2nd. That's kind of what
Ooh,
they're looking at as a 2nd. But
see,
the player wants out. He's asking for a trade. If you could get him for a 4th, then that's a steal in my opinion. But if they were asking a 3rd and that was the only way to get him, I feel like it's worth it. You get a guy that's 31 years old that's been dominant in the NFL, has a Super Bowl, right? Been to 2 Pro Bowls. The guy last year had 2 forced fumbles, I do believe. Like, we don't have a lot of players that are doing that. A lot of quarterback hits. I think he has 7. Uh, I don't know the exact stats, but he had decent numbers last year. So if you could bring that dude in and put him in the middle, I think it makes his defense better, right? If your defensive front can get to the quarterback, put pressure on the quarterback, and make sure corners better, they don't have to cover as long, right? They can jump routes, they can use their speed, they can use their size, their athleticism. It also, helps with these linebackers being able to get to the quarterback as well. When you can send 5 guys instead of 4, like we did pretty much every game last year, just sent 4 on 5 and expected it to work. You could actually blitz when you got guys that can get to the quarterback. And then we don't really have anybody that can get to the quarterback, right? Most of our guys, I mean, Laulu kind of, Booker's more of a run guy. Adam Butler hasn't really done anything the last 2 years. Tonka Hemingway, kind of a more of an outside guy, can get to the quarterback. And then, we haven't seen much of JJ Pegues. So they don't really have that guy that can constantly, consistently down in and down out, put pressure on a quarterback. And I believe Veda's that guy. So and you've got to look at the fact that I do believe he's pretty good friends with John Spytek, right? There's been pictures I've seen of, them talking on the sidelines, laughing, both smile on their face, joking around and shit. So seems like Spytek got a good relationship with him. He won a Super Bowl with Tom Brady. So, the Raiders have a lot going for him. He also mentioned that, he wants to play in LA or Las Vegas. I believe the taxes in LA are way more than Vegas because there are no state taxes in Vegas. So, that I think we have that
I
going
mean, that
for
could
us.
include the
And
49ers too, though, to be fair, because you said
yeah,
California.
but San Francisco, the Rams, the Chargers, those all LA teams, but the taxes are still the same, right?
Oh, they are, but
It's
you
still
said LA.
California. So,
No, but you said LA and us Northern Californians take kind of
well,
offense
yeah,
to,
okay. So my bad. California,
yeah, yeah.
LA to me is the whole damn state.
Yeah, I know. That's why we take offense to that because it's really
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, I know. My bad for the East Bay
No,
people.
no, it's all
But
good. It's all good. I just was explaining why I did that
yeah,
because
yeah, I
that's
know.
what happens
I
all
get
the
you.
time.
But yeah, so I feel like it's a smart move. It's a smart move. It'll definitely change his defense day one. It'll help Robbie Leonard with what he's trying to do, and use the speed in the back end and blitz a lot and put pressure on the quarterbacks. Like if you can get that man, that's great. But you also have to look at he's got $17 million due on his contract this year with no guaranteed money. Tampa Bay would take a $22 million cap hit. That means somebody's going to have to come up with some of that cash for the cap hit. He wants guaranteed money, which we could easily bring him over and pay him that 17 mil guaranteed for a season, and then if it works out, re-sign him. Right? I mean, the Raiders
So
have that luxuries, but I don't know if they'd be willing to take. It might be a higher price than a third because of the fact
yeah,
that
that's what I was going to ask you.
$22 million cap hit. Like they might,
Yeah,
maybe a third and a fifth next
that's
year
what I
or
was going to
something.
ask you. See, this what I know, bro. I told you this is why I respect you because I know that, bro. That's what I was going to ask you though. I was about to say, how about a third and a fifth? Because we could like 17 million. Like we could give him 17 million guaranteed, and then write a two
Yeah, it
year
doesn't
contract.
even go on our books.
Yeah, 2 year contract, right? We can give him a 2 year contract, maybe even like a 3 year contract, and then guarantee him like 20, and then we pay him three or whatever the little finesse that
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Spytech could do. So I think it's possible, and we do have a lot of ties to him. So my question is, would you be willing to do a third and the fifth?
I mean, yeah, if it's a fifth next year, I don't know. That to me, that might be a little high, right? Having to pay that 17 mil guaranteed, sign him to a contract. He's probably going to want more than 2 years, but he's 31 years old. I don't know. I think what the Raiders are trying to do right now, I feel like youth is more valuable than veterans right now. I mean, you got to have that mix, but do you really give up a third this year and a fifth next year? For a player that's 31 and he might be here, 2 years, 3 years, or he might just be here 1 year.
Yeah, I think he'll be here more than 1 year. We better not bring him in for 1 year. That would be poor management.
Well, his last contract, I believe, was like what 4 years, $74 million, somewhere in that range. So, I mean, you're talking 3 years, probably 60 mil, somewhere around 20 mil a season. Like, I mean, I don't know if I'm Spytech if I'm pulling the trigger on that unless we know that's the missing link, right? If you
Well,
know that your defense and your offense is pretty damn solid and you're missing one missing link and that's it, then yeah, I can see him doing that. But if it's too much, I just don't see us getting in a bidding war with San Francisco, the Rams, or the Chargers.
wow. Well, I don't think the Rams will get him because they're going to bring in Aaron Donald. I think
Yeah, but
um,
I mean, maybe if that doesn't happen, then damn,
that
Vea's
would be a good pivot, though.
a
That
damn
would be
good
a good
option. You
pivot,
know what I
though.
mean? Yeah, that's
Yeah, that
that's
would be a good pivot. You're right.
a good pivot.
Yeah, you're right. That would be an excellent pivot, actually, if they weren't able to get him.
Yeah, and then
Because if he wasn't even in the question, and then he said what he said, Veda said what he said, and the Rams would have went and got him, they'd have been like, oh wow! Not only did they get Miles Garrett, they got Veda too. That's what everybody would have been saying still. So yeah, that'd have been a good pivot. I don't know about the Niners so much. I don't even know about the Chargers so much. I think it's between the Raiders, maybe the Rams. I think it's between them two teams, but I don't know. It's too good to be true for us to get them. But then again, this has been a dream season for us in the off season already. So at this point, if it's gonna ever happen, it's gonna happen this year. I will say that.
I feel like we got most of the leverage. He got Spytek and Brady. Like they're gonna. He knows what Brady is. He knows what kind of guy Spytek is, right? And I'm sure he watched Clint Kubiak win a Super Bowl as the offensive
Right.
coordinator. So and like I said, no state tax in Vegas. Like
Yeah.
that's a couple $1 million more in your pocket, right? So
That's more than a couple, brother.
yeah, so I feel like the Raiders got the upper hand, and a little birdie in my ear told me that they might have already inquired about it and made some made some offers already. So I don't know.
I hope that bluebird on your shoulder is telling the truth, and I hope it pans out because because that's the one thing that we were really stressing out about. I'm talking about the nation, and if we were to solidify that, then that's going to help us immensely. No different than us bringing Max back. I mean, like I think that he's a force multiplier. That's what I call it. Like he's a force multiplier. He can take
Yep.
our defense from a 32 with Max Crosby and the Quiddy Pays and the Crawfords and the Stooks and all these little things. I mean, even McCoy, J Mac. I think that can turn us into a middle tier defense easily, though. Because even with just
Easily.
Max Crosby, he turns our defense into like a 15th ranked defense just with Max Crosby. So when I say easy, you are you agreeing
Yeah, yeah.
or am I putting too much on it? Because I sometimes
No,
I might get
no.
too excited.
I think it makes his defense totally turn around instantly. Like it makes us a contender on that side of the ball for sure. Now the offense we still have questions on, but
Yeah. Okay, let's see. All right, y'all. You guys have anything in the chat for my brother? Like I said, I appreciate you, bro.
I feel like
I respect you more than you know. Um, and I wouldn't even spend my energy on time on people I don't respect because I get irritated with BS real easy, and then you won't want to be around me. But you're like I said, you're like my arch nemesis. That's like not my enemy.
I
So
mean,
I love that.
I watch the show. I hear all the shit about these certain content creators and this certain content creator. Like, you know,
Oh,
we get the windows sometimes, bro. Especially when it some shit I had just did a live about. You know what I mean? Like, but it's all love, bro. It's all
no,
love.
but to be honest, when it comes to you though, because I don't have a problem calling these people out by name. Really, I would prefer to do that. I just don't want to
That's
rub
what. Don't beat
the
around the
nation
bush,
the
bro.
wrong
Don't
way.
beat around the bush. Fuck around. If you're gonna insinuate some shit, just say my name, bro. That's all I ask. That's all I ask.
Yeah, most of the time I don't. Most of the time I'm not even talking about you though, because I feel like I could say you per
Yeah.
se. Like I believe
Well,
I can. Like
I would hope so.
yeah, no, yeah, no, you a real one. Like because sometimes like just like I like you've already expressed to me, I'll sit there and listen to you and be like, what did you just say? Wait a minute, I gotta make a note of that. So when I go live, I gotta make sure I address that, right? 'Cause that makes
hmm
for good content too. Because at the same time, I might mess around and find out I'm wrong.
Yeah, but the bullshit is when motherfuckers go saying, this dude said AOC was better than Joe Montana. Well, shit was
Yeah,
never even
see,
said, bro. Blowing shit out of proportion like that. Yeah, you try to hype it up and hype it up and hype it up, bro. AOC wasn't even a conversation. Somebody asked me, and I do believe it was Oakland. Somebody from Oakland say asked, "Do you feel like Kirk Cousins is better than Joe Montana?" And I said, if you compare their body of work and their stats, not their wins and their Super Bowl wins and
oh yeah,
the teams they were on, yes, he's thrown consistently better than Joe Montana. Like Joe Montana had a couple good years on a great team. I mean, you had Roger Craig, you had Jerry Rice, bro. You had Ronnie Lott on defense. Like you had players. You had one of the best offensive line in the league, right? Like so yeah, that's what it was never about Aiden O'Connell being better than Joe Montana. I heard you say that shit the other day. I was laughing. I was like, I know damn well who he's talking about, and that's funny as hell.
hey, hey, I was just about to see if I could remember who it was that told me that, but I guess you already know already.
I mean, I don't know.
So
It was somebody in my chat, so I don't know who did, but
yeah, if I see his name, if
I've
I
caught a
see his
bunch of
name
people
again,
saying
I'm
that
gonna tell
shit.
you.
And,
Well, if I see his name again, I'll know it, and I'm gonna tell you because that's only fair. Because now I'm gonna have to pull his card. Because had I would have jumped out the window and been like, "Man, this dude is crazy for saying that." Because that's why I was like, I gotta talk to him about that
hmm
first because I don't know
hmm
about that one. I've heard him say some things, but I don't know about that one, right?
hmm
So this is what Frank Webb said. Yeah, Frank Webb said about your take just now. He gave it 2 ice cubes. He gave it 2 ice cubes. So he kind of agreed, but not all the way. So I understand what you're saying too. I'll give it 2 ice cubes as well on that.
And Frank Weber had a comment earlier. He said that's what you get when you start content before you're ready. Like, who was that insinuating to? Like,
No, I think he was talking about me.
but why?
I think
Like,
he was talking about me
what you mean?
because
Like,
what
start.
happened was because I had got a super chat, right? And I didn't do something that I should have done. And I was like, man, let me fix that. Because had I been a seasoned uh, podcaster that was getting super chats like that, I would have done it without making a mistake. So I think he was using me as an
Oh,
example of what I was actually
that's what I was
saying.
saying. I was like, what the hell? Who's he talking about?
Yeah, no, I think he was.
I
I
hate
think he was
chats.
poking
That's
at
why I
me.
hate chats, because you could type something, and if they don't say like so and so or at, you know what I mean, at so and so, then people just constantly assume you're talking to them, and you know,
Right.
then they start going back and forth in the chat, and usually it's somebody commenting in the chat or to somebody that's on the panel, and you just don't know who the hell anybody's talking to. You know, fucking.
Yeah, yeah, because I'll read something, I'll be like, "What? You talking about me?"
Because I heard you read that, and I was like, what is he like? I don't know what he's saying. Like,
No, I think he was talking about me because in the moment I said I meant to do something, but I wasn't used to doing it, and that's what he meant by if you put because remember because I'm running around here saying I'm a rookie
how
and
you
all that, and he was saying that yeah, well if you get out there too early, you're gonna make mistakes, and that's why you got to. So he was kind of poking fun at me with my own words, which I love that. I love that because if I'm out of pocket, you know what I'm saying, shoot it, and I'm gonna try to own it.
yeah, hold me accountable. Shit, that's what I want to be. That's what I said. Let me know who you talking about. But wait, you said how you claiming to be a rookie? How you claiming to be a rookie when you've been doing this for a minute?
Well, I'm a rookie in the Raiders
in the
YouTube.
in the solo, like in the solo thing, because you've been on Raider Bands for what, 3 years, 4 years?
Oh no! I've been on Raider Benz this year. This was my first.
Oh, just this
Uh,
year?
yeah, just
You
this
wasn't on
year.
there
And
last year? You wasn't on
uh,
there
uh,
last year?
well, I was there for. Actually, you know what?
You was you was
I
there
was
all
there
last year, I
for.
thought,
I was there for.
because you was
I
there when they
was
had.
there for part of the season. I was there. You right. I was there for part of the season. I don't know. I don't think I was there for the beginning of the season. Oh yeah, I was because I was telling
Yeah,
everybody about.
I thought you was
I
there.
was
You've been
telling
there like
everybody
two,
about Clint,
like two or
about
three
your
seasons.
boy.
I thought. So
No, I've been there since the beginning of last season because I was telling everybody about Chip Kelly. That's when I started. That's when I started. But the reason why I said I was a rookie is because I wasn't trying to get monetized like I was in the last 100 days. But you're right. I'm just gonna say that was my red shirt year because I was on the wrong team. I
Black
shouldn't have
moving
been
the
over there.
goalpost again, bro. You never kick field goals with Black in the room. You ain't making a field goal one.
Oh, you better kick field goals with me, and you better punt on fourth down.
He said you
No,
better
but
go for fuck. You better go for it on fourth down. We ain't kicking field goals here. We're just gonna move the goalpost constantly.
nah. You right. You
But
pulled that card.
nah. You can take the red shirt. You can take the red
That was
shirt
my
here.
red shirt year.
That's good. See, you only been doing it as long as me. I think it's only my Christmas will be Christmas will be my third year, I do believe.
Yeah, so I feel like once I do a full year, like just not attached to them because really I went over there.
That's sad. I need more
I,
followers. I
I
gotta
went
get my
over there
base up.
because I really was like trying to do a team thing because I thought they had this team thing going on. But then once you it's kind of like you don't really know a person until you move in with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like that because what happens offline and what happens online is two different things. And I have a problem with that because I'm the same person offline that I am online. So, but that's for another day. But I'm gonna let you go, bro, because your militia want to know when you going live. I want to pull up in your chat, and I appreciate your time, brother, for sure. I just want you to know I respect you a lot, and I feel glad that I can. If I say something, I don't have to insinuate who I'm talking about when it comes to you, and I hope you do the same
Yeah,
for me,
I'm
bro.
straight on. So like Rebel said, like yeah,
Yeah, I
I
want you to say
respect that
Black
way more
said.
than being like this other content creator. When
Yeah,
when
yeah.
it comes to ALC, like come on, man, just say that shit. Just fucking say it, bro.
Yeah, but sometimes I'm not talking about you because the other
I
person
know
I'm talking about is
it's
sensitive.
not always about me,
This
but
person is sensitive, and they're trying to rebrand and change who they are and all this other stuff. So, hey, bro, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna jump off too. I appreciate the chat. Hey, I appreciate the love. I appreciate the loyalty. Thanks for hacking into the show. Thank you for pulling up, bro, because you made a good podcast, a great podcast today. And so did the rest of you guys. So make sure y'all go to Unleash Rebel. What you call LV?
Yeah,
is
because
up there.
somebody else has a Rebel Raider,
Yeah,
and mine's Raiders Rebel, so I changed it to LV Raiders Rebel, so there's no
no mistake. Yeah,
mistaking somebody saying some shit, because I've got that a lot where they come in and be like, oh, Raiders Rebel said, blah 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 blah, or like, and I'm listening to somebody else's chat and I'm like, I never said that shit in my life. Fuck you mean,
right.
bro?
No, I remember being on the chat where you two guys were in it, and then we were already confusing who was who.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
my tag is, like, my channel is Raiders Unleashed. It's at Raiders Unleashed. My
yeah,
name is Raiders Rebel. His is the opposite. His tag is at Rebels Raider. So,
yeah,
but his name
yeah.
is something different. So once YouTube changed it to where they go off your at whatever your channel is instead of your tag name,
That's
then
better.
everybody got confused and started thinking we were both had different opinions on a lot of shit. But
Yeah.
it is what it is. It's all
So,
love.
I'm looking forward to your show tonight, bro. I'm gonna pull up for sure, and I thank you for coming on, and I thank the chat, everybody. There's too many to thank. So I'll see you guys a little bit later, and you guys have a good evening. And Raiders First Down, you are the sponsor of the show tonight. Appreciate it. Oh, he said I want to change mine to Raiders touchdowns. I like that. All right, but I'm a Raider. He's a Raider. From the Bay to LA to Las Vegas, because we Raiders though.
I'm a Raider from the Bay to LA to Las Vegas. Recipes to Al Davis.